Get on the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. The authority has raised the maximum loan size to £250,000 to allow buyers to afford bigger homes. Ben Nye reports.
The scheme works in a similar way to the government's Help to Buy and requires only a 5% deposit. The councils say rising house prices have made it more difficult for people to get on the ladder, which is why they've raised the loan amounts. Since 2012, it's helped 167 people get a mortgage in the county, and it's hoped to help around 130 more.
There's a call for a public inquiry into sex abuse allegations at the Yarlswood Immigration Centre in Bedfordshire. Last year, 3 members of staff were sacked after a detainee claimed to be the victim of abuse. Serco will continue to run the centre after its £70 million contract was renewed, something questioned by the Labour MP Carl Turner.
There are questions around its handling of Jarl's Wood and allegations of serious abuse and sexual violence. Does he not agree that a full independent inquiry into these allegations should have been carried out before his Home Secretary signed off on that contract?
The body which advises the NHS in England is calling for thousands more people with type 2 diabetes to be offered weight loss surgery. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence says increasing the number of procedures, such as gastric bypass operations, would save money for the NHS in the long term. And it's been announced that the Australian cricketer Philip Hughes has died in hospital after being hit by a cricket ball. He was 25. He was struck during a game between South Australia and New South Wales at the Sydney Cricket Ground earlier this week and never regained consciousness. And the weather, it will be cloudy and a misty day with some rain this morning and patchy fog too. Highs of 10 Celsius. That's 50 in Fahrenheit. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With the big phone in, the hottest topic of the day, and your consumer problems. From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Multi-platinum recording artist Michael Ball talks to me about his new album.
From 3.
Roberto Perroni.
I'm here with a roundup of the day's news, the latest travel, and your stories.
From 7.
Mark Forrest.
I'll bring you the best bits from everything that's been happening on BBC Local Radio.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
If I had to describe this show, I would say it's neat, it's sweet, it's ready to eat. How's about them apples? That's better. I've turned my microphone up now. Neat, sweet, ready to eat, eh? Hey, Kels?
Yeah, man.
Kath?
Certainly is.
Certainly is, Stanley.
It's ripe, hyped, and up for a gripe.
Well, yes, hang on. Hang on. I can do 3 rhyming words. Hang on.
It's...
No, you've had one.
Wait,
Hang
it's
on.
nice, it's spice, and it's on for hours of thrice.
No.
Because of 3.
Nice and spice and sitting on ice.
What does that mean?
It started, it's bad, and now it's getting no, that's not. My eldest son he's a plum. I often say to him, thank you, Stanley. There's a reference to...
Laurel and Hardy?
Thank you. To the old lady there. He says, my name's not Stanley.
It's got a good point.
Did you go, Oliver Hardy invented the girlfriend, didn't it? But he's not yet asked me where it comes from. Well, in your face, loser.
My favourite is James Finlayson.
Yep. Oh.
The king of the double take.
Well, no, hang on. That was Frankie Howard. Yes, Frankie Howard. Yes, there we go. I tried to show my eldest boy, some Laurel and Hardy. He wasn't ready for it, and it wasn't the best Laurel and Hardy. It was them. They're trying to escape from a prison, and there's these loads of guns go. Bless you. It didn't. Hey.
Bless you.
Hey, I anticipated that sneeze.
Oh, you're welcome.
I anticipated that sneeze.
You should have just hit him with the Trail of the Lonesome
Bless
Pine.
you. Yeah. Well, we're in a comedy cul-de-sac. Back it up. On the show today, whistleblowers, first-time buyers, and poppy pilferers.
across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
But first, it's these dirty birds.
We come on this loop, John B. My grandfather and me. Around Nassau town we did roam, drinking all night. Got into a fight. Well, I feel so broken. I wanna go home. So hoist up the John B. sail. See how the mainsail sets. Call for the captain ashore. Let me go home. Let me go home. I wanna go home. Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel so broken. I wanna go home. The first mate, he got drunk. Broke in the captain's drum. The constable had to come and take him away. Sheriff John Stone, why don't you leave me alone? Yeah. Well, I feel so broken. I wanna go home. So hoist up the John B. Hoist up the John B. See how the mainsail, see how the mainsail. Call for the captain ashore. Let me go home. Let me go home. I wanna go home. Let me go home. Hoist up the John B. Feel so broken. I wanna go home. Let me go home. Poor cook, he caught the fit and threw away all my grit. And then he took and he ate up all of my corn. Let me go home. Why don't they let me go home? This is the worst trip I've ever been on. Hoist up the John B. Hoist up the John B. See how
That's the Beach Boys and their hit Sloop John B. From an album that cited Pet Sounds, of course, the revolutionary album. I don't think Pet Sounds is that good.
Brian Wilson does.
Well, Brian Wilson would do. And when Brian Wilson phoned my house once, yeah, that's right.
Paid him to.
I did pay him. He phoned my house and he said, well, what do you want to ask me? And I had all these geeky questions about the Beach Boys, and all I could say was, what's your favourite Beach Boys record? Oh, it's Pet Sounds. Thanks for calling, bye. But I think Pet Sounds is not the best Beach Boys album by a long time. Hey, guys, you want to check out a cool Beach Boys album? Go and buy Sunflower. Yeah? Oh, Sunflower.
How does that go?
Well, I can't do the whole album,
Oh.
but it's good. It's good. Anyway, on to perhaps slightly more serious things. In fact, definitely more serious things. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. It's emerged Chief Executive Chris Williams received a letter from the then Head of Children's Services, Sue Imbriano, in January, 6 months before the inspection. My producer and good buddy, Catherine Boyle, is in the studio. Catherine, what do we know about this letter?
Well, this is from Sue Imbriano to Chris Williams, and she's highlighting her concerns about the safeguarding of children in the county, which she discovered through talking to staff and from reading files. Her concerns were reflected actually in the subsequent Ofsted report, which highlighted shortcomings in leadership and management, a lack of social workers to deal with increasing volumes of work, and weaknesses in procedures and record keeping. She was concerned that not enough social workers were being assigned to vulnerable children.
What else did the Ofsted investigation say?
The Ofsted report described the arrangements for children's social care and protection in Buckinghamshire as inadequate, but the way that social workers had made a real difference to children's lives was seen as a strength, along with the effective processes Bucks County Council has for children who go missing or who are at risk of sexual exploitation. The council had begun making changes, but the report showed that the pace of improvement was insufficient.
And what's been happening since the Ofsted report was published?
More changes and significant changes to the way Bucks County Council works with children and their families. They were already underway underway, but a major improvement plan's been put into action, backed by an extra £8 million for children's services. And this week, the leader of the council, Martin Tett, has appointed Lynn Hazel as his new cabinet member for children's services, a role she'll take up on December the 1st, having previously been cabinet member for children's services from 2005 to 2011. So she's got form.
And another sentence with the word "what" in. What is Bucks County Council saying about this letter and its significance?
Well, we were hoping to ask them that in person. We invited Bucks County Council's Chief Executive, Chris Williams, who, of course, was the addressee of that letter, and also the leader, Martin Tett. We invited them both onto the programme today. But
What time are they coming on?
Both unavailable, I'm afraid.
Hey.
Although Chris Williams may be available to speak to us tomorrow morning, so we'll hold him to that. However, in a statement, Mr Williams described the letter from Sue Imbriano as not a statutory letter, but part of the normal management process of the council. Which I don't know what that means to most people.
No, OK. What is... go on, sorry.
Do you want to hear the statement?
Yeah, go on.
We've been working since April 2013 to introduce a brand new way of delivering children's services across Buckinghamshire. At the same time, we were hit with an increase in the number of referrals from other agencies and had a significant number of agency staff, as outlined in Sue Imbriano's letter to me. Chris Williams said these concerns were being managed and action was being taken. And he also says, following my meeting with Mrs Imbriano, I responded by agreeing additional resources to tackle the backlog of cases and to provide further support to our own staff. What we've done since Ofsted reported back in August is to react quickly and decisively with a comprehensive improvement plan and additional funding.
And Sue Imbriano, what's happened to her since then?
We're going to speak to her. She is going to come onto the programme. She's no longer head of Children's Services, having resigned her post in September. She's told BBC Three Counties Radio that she raised concerns of a moral nature and the priority is to get everything right for the children of Buckinghamshire.
And gravity won't pull you through. You know you're missing out on something. Well, that something depends on you. All I'm saying, it takes a lot to love you. All I'm doing, you know it's true. All I mean now, there's one thing, yes, one thing that turns this grey sky to blue. judge the look by the lover. I hope you'll soon recover. Me, I go from one extreme to another.
And though my friends just might ask me, they say, Martin, maybe one day you'll find true love. I say maybe, but there must be a solution to the one thing we can find.
Hip, hip,
for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Things are looking like they're moving very well at the moment on the speed sensors on the M1 and the M25. No hold-ups there. A reminder that there's roadworks in Roxton on the A1 Great North Road around the Black Cat roundabout, which could cause some delays later on to your journey. And in High Wycombe on Marlow Hill, there's temporary lights in place at Marlow Road, and they are likely to cause delays as well. In St Albans, it's the Christmas market starting today at St Albans Cathedral, so that's likely to start getting busy later on this morning or this afternoon. And it's very foggy at the moment, looking at the cameras around the whole of Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire and Buckinghamshire, so be very careful out there on the roads. Also looking very wet on the cameras, so be careful of surface spray. Checking the trains, there's no reports of any problems there. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hey up, Sammy! The show this morning, neat, sweet and also ready to eat. Tuck in, guys, tuck in. 6:17. It's Thursday. What day? Day check, please. Day check, people. Thursday. Thank you. Thursday, the 27th of November. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. There are calls for a public inquiry into sex abuse allegations at the Yarlswood Immigration Centre in Bedfordshire. And the weather. Well, it's November, isn't it? What do you expect?
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Christmas is not coming.
Women in underwear just look nice.
Every weekday from 3.
Good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Local people.
What's your story?
Seems there's a law for them and then there's one for the press, and I disagree with what they're saying.
Local views.
In some cases, sort of 40% loss in value on their properties.
Has Kelly Luton got it right?
There is a responsibility when you're paid from the public purse.
Local life.
Do you want to know how much my carer's allowance goes up by every April when the tax year changes? £2.
Roberto Peroni.
And is it fair to target people on benefits?
Weekdays from 3. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Brought some of my own CDs in this morning. Here's Luther and Janet.
Boy, when you look at me, do you judge me by my cover? I got to be kidding me to think that I'm back on that river. I don't mean to disagree. Sorry, you can't buy my kisses. Open your eyes and see true love comes for free.
I'm keeping my heart open, then you won't stab me in it. 'Cause I've been in love before, and when I had to pay, I did it. I lose my sanity, trying to measure your intention. What do you want from me? How much will it be?
No more than you're willing to do.
Yeah.
Sure ain't nothing for this good love
All right. And I won't make you promises. I'll just do all I can to be your lover, 'cause I understand.
Best days in life are free.
Yeah.
Now that I've discovered what you need to me.
Don't you know it?
The best days in life are free. We got each other. Best days in life are free.
All right. I like that. Now, Janet.
I know you are my baby, my one and only baby. You said it twice, I'll say it thrice, my baby, baby, baby. I've got so much love for you, and it's easy to give it when I know you feel the same way too.
That's all I expect from you. Just do all that you can to be my lover, 'cause I understand. I do. I do. They say,
Life are free. Now that I've discovered what you mean to me.
I've discovered I still don't think they've got it. Let's tell them one more time. Check it out. Everybody needs to know that.
Goodbye. Working with utter plums today. Well, here we go. Ready? Well, the best things in life may be free.
Not on eBay, they're not.
No, forget eBay. That's irrelevant to this story. The best things in life may be free, but not if that thing that you want to be the best in your life is a house. Those cost a lot of money.
See what he's doing?
I see what he's doing.
I'm not doing it, I've done it. First-time buyers are getting a little extra help onto the housing ladder from a bank.
No.
A building society.
No.
Hertfordshire County Council.
Yes.
There we go, you see. It's set up its own mortgage scheme to help people who are finding it difficult to get started in an area of the country where prices are very high. Most first-time buyers in the county are families looking for 2 or more bedroom homes, according to the local authority, which has increased the maximum loan size by £60,000 to £250,000. Well, Justin Dealey has been speaking to people who are trying to get on the property ladder.
Ben, you're 29. You're currently saving to get your own property, to get that deposit. When do you think you might move out and get your own place?
Hopefully in, the next year.
And explain to us just how hard it is to try and get your foot on the property ladder now, especially in Hertfordshire, where the properties are a lot of money. How tough has it been for you?
It's been very tough. I'm doing as much overtime as I can.
And how long have you been doing that for?
I'd say about 2 years now.
So you've been working overtime every hour you possibly can for the last 2 years, and you still haven't got the funds to get a deposit?
No, not yet, but hopefully soon.
I'm renting at the moment.
So you're 23. When do you think you might have enough money to get a deposit to buy your own place? You go, it's going to be quite a way off, isn't it?
I guess I'm 27, 28 minimum.
Amy, you and your brother both live at home. You're 20. He's a bit older, 27.
Yep.
When do you think you're going to have enough money to get on the property ladder, if at all?
I don't think at all, to be honest. Maybe 5 years if I save, everything I earn. Other than that, probably 10 years if I save.
You're looking at about 10 years. What about your brother? He's obviously a bit older, 27, isn't he?
Yeah, he's actually looking with his girlfriend at the minute because they've been dating for ages. But I don't think they'll be able to afford it either, to be honest. They'll be home in a couple of years if they do move out.
Mark, you're 27 years old. You're still at home with your parents. What's your situation? When do you plan to move out?
Probably the next 3 years. 3 years to save up, yeah. Probably about, if I could save up £10,000 a year, I'll be happy with that.
£10,000 a year?
It's a year, yeah.
So you need £30,000?
£30,000 for a deposit.
Well, we can speak now to Henry Pryor, who's a housing expert from Hertfordshire. Morning, Henry.
Good morning, Ian.
What do you think about this type of scheme? Does it work?
Well, it does demonstrably work because nationally, the government, the coalition government, have what we've discussed many times on the programme in the past, Help to Buy, it's called, and it is this vicious circle that is always difficult to complete. Do you help people to afford what they can't otherwise aspire to, or do you let the market do its worst and for prices to fall so that people can then afford them? And what the council are doing here is following in actually quite a long tradition. Schemes like this have been up and running since before the credit crunch in 2008, where local authorities work with Lloyds Bank and other lenders to provide schemes called Local Lender Hand, which is the catchy name they gave it. And that's local authorities, or in fact, ratepayers, council taxpayers like you and I, Ian, they effectively bankrolling the first-time buyers to enable them to afford a property that without our help they would not be able to buy.
They're offering 95% mortgages, aren't they? Isn't that a little dangerous?
Well, there's a certain aspect of déjà vu, isn't there? And do you remember, as I'm sure many listeners will, what was going on before the credit crunch in 2007, 2008? There was a little-known lender at the time up in the northeast who was offering 110% loan-to-value mortgages. Just let's remember what we're talking about here. We're talking about the borrower having to find or save, as your package a moment ago was just illustrating. They had to save 5% on a 95% loan-to-value, and a lender will then lend the balance. What the local authority here, in the case of Herts County Council, are doing is effectively stepping up and underwriting that 95% risk that the lenders would otherwise not be prepared to take. Now, that means that we're fiddling in a market, we're intervening, obviously for very laudable reasons, to help people to get onto the housing ladder, but are we in some ways perhaps just making it, storing up trouble for further on down the line by making house prices even more unaffordable by adding to the demand that's already there for them?
And house prices in Hertfordshire, they're doing pretty well already, aren't they? So this could push them up even further.
Here's the irony, Ian, and you're quite right. Derek Ashley, who's the Cabinet Member for Resources for Herts County Council, says in his release, the scheme helps the wider community too by stimulating the local housing market, relieving local demand for social housing and benefiting the wider local economy. Now, there are many people who would suggest that giving an alcoholic a bottle of gin is perhaps not the best way of stimulating demand for alcohol on the streets of Hertfordshire and indeed the country. What we're doing here is adding to the pressure for the limited amount of housing that we have by giving people access to more money and by enabling them to, as a result, drive up those already sky-high house prices. Average house price in Hertfordshire, Ian, at the moment, take a guess. £279,000.
Exactly what I was going to guess, Henry. Thank you. I was spot on. And also, we have historically low interest rates. If someone's taking out a 95% mortgage, when the interest rates go up, which they will do fairly soonish, comparatively soon, they could be in big trouble, couldn't they?
Well, rates will inevitably go up as night follows day, and eventually the question is whether the unreliable boyfriend, as the Governor of the Bank of England has been referred to rather disingenuously, will put them up next year or the year after. But I think it's important to remind listeners that actually this scheme, done, as I say, for very laudable reasons and very much the right reasons to try and help people to find accommodation and to take pressure off social housing, the rules and regulations and what the qualifications that borrowers will be required to have are no different from those who would be applying directly to a lender. So there are checks and balances, and post something called the Mortgage Market Review, which Ian, you and I talked about back in July, which is this new change that the government have brought in order to try and save people from lenders who would otherwise lend them too much money. They're going to find that you've still got to qualify, you'll still have to make sure that borrowers will be able to afford higher interest payments when those higher interest rates inevitably come.
Henry, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Henry Pryor, housing expert from Hertfordshire. And dare I say it, he's this show's official housing expert. I think I can bestow titles like that on people willy-nilly, can't I, Catherine?
Yeah, just don't write any contracts.
No, and no money exchanges hands. And to be honest, it's not really the best gig in the world.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road, it's starting to look heavy now around the M25 junction 21A roundabout on the speed sensors. Having a look at the M25, things are moving well there at the moment. It's looking very foggy though on the cameras, so take extra care. In Rickmansworth on Amersham Road, there's stop-go boards in place for roadworks at Green Street, and that could cause some delays later on, though it's moving fine at the moment. And in St Albans, the Christmas market begins today at St Albans Cathedral, so expect extra traffic there until the 21st of December. Having a look at the trains, there's no reports of any problems at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. 6 months before the inspection, Chief Executive Chris Williams received a letter from the then Children's Services boss, Sue Imbriano. A mortgage scheme to help more first-time buyers get on the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. The authority has raised the maximum loan size to £250,000 to allow buyers to afford bigger homes. The body which advises the NHS in England is calling for thousands more people with type 2 diabetes to be offered weight loss surgery. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence says increasing the number of procedures such as gastric bypass operations would save money for the NHS in the long term. It's been announced that the Australian cricketer Philip Hughes has died in hospital after being hit by a cricket ball. He was 25. He was struck during a game between South Australia and New South Wales at the Sydney Cricket Ground earlier this week and never regained consciousness. And the weather, a cloudy and misty day ahead with some rain and patchy fog this morning. Highs of 10 Celsius, that's 50 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Arsenal have qualified for the Champions League knockout stages after beating Borussia Dortmund 2-0. The BBC's Iain Dennis reports from the Emirates.
On a misty night, Arsenal secured a clear passage into the knockout stages. Sanogo provided the perfect start, a well-taken goal, combining with Cazorla after 2 minutes. Martinez made an important save before half-time, and again from Mkhitaryan 4 minutes after the break. Sanchez tested Weidenfeller. The outstanding Oxlade-Chamberlain struck a crossbar before Sanchez curled in a second to seal the victory. Martinez made one more late reflex save as Arsenal progress for a 15th consecutive season.
Meanwhile, Liverpool have put qualification for the Champions League knockout stages in their own hands, despite conceding a late equaliser and drawing 2-2 against Bulgarian champions Ludogorets. Midfielder Adelini Guadiora has signed for Watford on loan until January. The Algerian international has moved from Crystal Palace, where he has featured 4 times in the Premier League this season. Meanwhile, Watford striker Uche Ikpeazu will spend a second loan spell with League One crew Alexandra. In rugby, England head coach Stuart Lancaster names his side that will face Australia at Twickenham later today. George Ford is expected to retain his place at fly half following an impressive display in the win over Samoa last weekend. And at the UK Snooker Championship, the world champion Mark Selby is through to the second round at the York Barbican. He beat Oliver Brown 6-0 last night. BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'll be back with a full bulletin at 7.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's like talking to my cat when I'm ordering Kelly Bettstead. I'm ordering her. Meow. Ooh. Are you in a bad mood?
I am not in a bad mood.
All right. But it is like giving instructions to my cat. How are we doing with that song?
Yeah.
Can you stop licking that, Kelly?
We haven't got it. Genuine.
Okay, well, I want a Leon Russell song.
We've got Leon Russell, just not that exact one. Oh, hang on. The only one we've got is Live in Japan.
I don't want Live in Japan.
1973.
Was he big in Japan?
Everyone's big in Japan. I'm big in Japan.
It's big.
In Japan?
Uncle Pen?
No.
Time for Love?
Let's have Live in Japan, 1973. How long is it? Because they go on for a long time, these live tracks, don't they? In Japanese.
3:54.
That's all right.
Beautiful.
You want that?
Let's give it a pop, and I'll take full responsibility if it's cack.
And if they're swearing, do you also take full responsibility?
Oh, he's not going to swear. It's Leon Russell.
He doesn't swear.
Yeah, but what if his crowd get angry?
The Japanese do not get angry anymore.
Okay.
That beast was tamed.
And if they do swear, it'll be in Japanese.
Yeah, so who's going to know? Apart from, we do have a huge Japanese community here in Beds, Hearts or Bucks. I don't know exactly where, they won't tell me. But they are a huge Japanese community and they love this show. Arigato gozaimasu. Konobasu wa Tokyo ni ikimasu ka?
Keiki harimasu ka?
What does any of that mean?
Have you got any cake?
Watashi wa vegetarian desu. Sakana to neko wa tabemasen.
You're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
But you're not anymore, so you're going to have to change that patter.
Yeah, well, I've learnt that rote. Kore wa kasa desu ka? Whose umbrella is this? How are we getting with that song? For goodness sakes, have you found it?
Yes.
I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. A whole lot. I'd like to feature Miss Kathy McDonald on this song.
I take full
Is that Mrs. Mills?
I take full responsibility for that.
Do you want the Carpenters one instead?
Yeah, go on, why not?
Well then.
show. Your guitar, it sounds so sweet and clear, but you're not really here. It's just the radio. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do. Loneliness is such a sad affair, and I can hardly wait to be with you again. What to say to make you come again, baby? Come back to me again, and play your sad guitar. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do.
She's dead. Not a lot in the papers, if I'm honest. Right, Kels?
Mhm.
So, spoiler alert. Sorry, I should have...
I watched a film on her. That was really sad.
Yeah, I
You
watched that as well.
a film on her? You are sick.
It was an awful film, but it was a great film.
Yeah.
I watched the same film.
The story was good.
I
Films.
cannot believe... Serious for a moment, guys. I cannot believe that cricketer has died.
Oh, that's so sad.
Because I saw the pictures, and I didn't... you may or may not know, I'm not a fan of sport, particularly cricket. Terrible game. But I saw the pictures, and I thought, oh, fella's been hit in the head. So he just got... What happened?
He went to play the shot.
He was
realised
batting.
it was too close. Yeah, realised it was too close. The natural reaction, turn your face away. Even though he's wearing a helmet, it would have been better if he. Apparently, it would have been better
Taken
if
it
he'd
in
have
the face.
taken it in the face because he had the helmet on. But because he didn't, turned it round and it found that weak point, the gap between his helmet and his shoulder.
It's so sad. He's 25.
Imagine being the fella that bowled that ball.
I know.
Mm.
How would you be able to cope with that? It's not particularly, it's a dangerous sport, I suppose, but it's not. I would imagine there aren't that many people that die playing cricket.
Well, some of the discussion I've heard is from people saying if they didn't trust so much in the helmet technology, they wouldn't have played the shot. So if they weren't wearing helmets, you would just got out of the way. That wouldn't have happened. But because
so they're trying to blame it on the culture of the helmet.
Just because of the way that they're padded up these days.
It's just. I was listening to Wally Webb and he announced it. It just came in this morning, isn't it? It makes you think, doesn't it? It really does make you think. Well, give us a call about that if you want. More than welcome to. What have we got in the papers? It's a bit quiet today, isn't it?
Just a tiny bit, yes.
Oh, I tell you what we've got. The Jihadi brothers It's an unfortunate name, isn't it? It's not their name. They're actually brothers who are jihadists. And they, two jihadi brothers yesterday became the first Brits to be jailed for terror training in Syria. And there's a picture of... Oh, no, this is the fella... Is this the fella that's taunting them? Anyway, there's a picture of the timetable for jihadi camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What time do they get up?
4:30 for Fajr. I don't know what Fajr is.
I imagine it's sort of prayers.
4:30 till 6, Islamic lessons. It sounds like a tough regime. 6 till 8, physical training. 8 till 9, free time, cleaning. 9 till 9:30, breakfast. You only get 30 minutes for breakfast. 10, you've got another 2 hours of military training. 12:30, you have salah. Half an hour for lunch at 1:30, but then 1:30 till 3 o'clock, it's free time, and cleaning is not involved in that. That is actual free time, so you can go and play Nintendo.
When they say cleaning, do they mean a shower, or do they mean they've got to clean their room?
Well, this is one of the many mysteries. This is why we need to get into the heads of these jihadists.
Yeah.
So free time for 2.5 hours there. Military training 3 till 7:30. Dinners at 9:30. Then at 10. Now this is interesting. 10.
9:30. They say they're only giving half an hour each time for lunch.
No wonder they're so angry. 10 o'clock. Lights out. Everyone. Then it says lights out. 10 o'clock. Then brackets. Everyone in rooms except for Ribat. Now,
What's so special about Ribat?
Why is Ribat getting special treatment? Again, another reason that the other boys are angry, because Ribat... Everyone, you've got to be in your rooms for 10 o'clock, lights out. Except for you, Ribat. You can do what you want, mate. You can go and play Nintendo on your own if you fancy. You can go and clean your gun as much as you want.
Is Ribat a person, or is Ribat something, a thing?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's a person. Otherwise,
Ribat, if you're listening, can you give us a call and let us know?
He can. He's available.
Ribat gets special treatment. Maybe he's like the head jihadist's son or something. I don't know how it works there. But it sounds like a very tough regime. Just stay at home, guys. Get a job or watch Jeremy Kyle. That's what I would do.
And then you can eat for a whole hour if you want.
And you can eat whenever you want. The free time is yours. And
clean.
And you haven't got to worry about what Ribat's up to either. Have you got anything, Catherine?
When villagers wanted to crack down on speeding drivers, they set up their own community watch schemes. We've got some of those, haven't we?
We've got a few of those people who, yes.
Police now have told the volunteers to slow down because they were clocking too many motorists and they can't keep up with the paperwork. This is according to the Daily Mail, page 31.
WTF?
Yes. What the flip? Officers have complained they are struggling to process the paperwork for the scheme, which has recorded nearly 500 speeders since it started last month in Ticknall, Derbyshire.
They
be given a speed gun, they will use it.
Do-gooders or friendly neighbourhood people. My friend, this is ridiculous.
Do-gooders or good doers.
There we go. Thank you. My friend is an idiot. He's a cameraman. He was an idiot, and they were filming. I think it may have been Ali G. I don't know, or maybe Dennis Pennis. I don't know. They were filming something, and it was either Princess Diana's funeral cortege, or the Queen Mother's. I think it must have been the Queen Mother's, and they were stood on a bridge on the M1 with hairdryers to look like speed guns. Within seconds, they were surrounded by armed police and on the floor.
They would have thought they were guns.
Of course they would. Idiots.
Dennis Pennis, hilarious though.
Yeah, really?
That was a great show.
Yeah, but then people got wise to it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Hey, you can get on Saturday.
Have you seen? He does a character called Strutter.
Yes.
Okay. What are you doing on Saturday?
Well, I'm doing a professional radio show on another radio station. And then going to my kids' Christmas fete.
OK, well, in the meantime, you might want to pick up a copy of the Daily Mail because you can organise yourself next year with the lovely image of Prince George.
Oh, look!
That's not weird having a calendar of someone else's baby, is it?
No, but everyone has calendars of someone else's babies, isn't it? Because of course they do. Grandparents do.
Yeah, that's
families give out.
That's their grandchildren.
It's not theirs, though, is it?
Yeah.
Families give out calendars of themselves. I bet you probably do, don't you, Boyle? Yeah,
we do every year.
I don't want one.
No, I won't give it to you. I'll give it to the grandparents. They love that stuff, I think.
Well, you think, yeah. They've just got to find somewhere to hang it.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Having a look at the motorways on the speed sensors, and the M25 anti-clockwise is starting to build up between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. And the M1 southbound's looking heavy now between junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road and 9 for Redbourne. On the A1M southbound, it's looking very heavy as well between junction 7 for Stevenage and through Stevenage there. Having a look at the cameras as well, it's very foggy, so take extra care out there. It's moving well around the A1 Great North Road, but around the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks at the moment, but that could get busy very shortly. And having a look at the speed sensors in Luton, Hatters Way starting to look quite slow between Chorl End Road and Dunstable Road at the moment. Having a look at the train departure boards, there's no reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you. 6:47. It is Thursday, the 27th of November. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. You're right over there?
I've just seen this story.
Which story have you seen? Just tease the audience.
The house that uses so much power on its Christmas lights that they can't boil a kettle anymore.
Thank you very much indeed. That's something to look forward to. These are your headlines. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. And a mortgage scheme to help more first-time buyers get on the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. Let's get the weather. Here's Georgina.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Well, there's a bit of hill fog around first thing this morning, but a fairly cloudy grey day again with spots of drizzle too. It does get slightly brighter by the afternoon, but I don't want to get your hopes up too much, as it's unlikely we'll see much in the way of sunny spells. Temperatures reaching about 12 degrees Celsius though, so at least it's slightly warmer. And a mild night to follow, staying quite cloudy. Some drizzly bits and pieces continue with lows of 8 degrees. And tomorrow, another grey start to the day. It is clearing from the southeast corner, but it may be that more western parts don't see the benefit of that before the sun sets. A mainly dry day though tomorrow, with the winds picking up and highs of 13 degrees Celsius. So those temperatures are pretty much peaking for the week tomorrow. Over the weekend it does at least stay mainly dry. We've got a fairly cloudy start on Saturday, brightening up though, and the winds starting to ease, but staying cloudy all the way through until Monday. That's your latest forecast.
Every weekday morning,
You can book your place on the show now.
Jonathan Vernon Smith
Come on and get some help, get some assistance.
tackling your consumer problems.
They couldn't trace an account in any of the names or any of the addresses that were given.
For it to be running for 6 weeks and then for them to cut it all off again just doesn't make any sense.
The JVS show fights for your rights.
He came to me and asked if I could go and have a word with said bank.
I had an email from the bank to say that you'd been in touch with them, and the senior customs relations manager was most apologetic.
Thankfully, you managed to get your money back.
Yep, but that was due to obviously your station itself.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Is that a picture?
Yep.
Animal rights activists, always sticking their noses in where it's not wanted. Sometimes where it's wanted, but it's not wanted here.
Where are they sticking it?
Switzerland. Animal rights activists are urging Swiss families to ditch a popular Christmas dish. Get this, Just, you'd like this.
Go on.
Roast cat in a wine and garlic sauce.
What?
Beautiful. Just?
Are you serious about this?
What do you mean?
That's what they eat.
Animal rights activists, the headline is a la cat menu, very clever. Mm-hmm. Animal rights activists are urging Swiss families to ditch a popular Christmas dish, roast cat in a wine and garlic sauce.
Is it really cat, though? Is it really cat?
Well, you think they might be stealing local
Come
sheep
on.
and using those instead?
There can't be anybody on this planet who eats pussycats. I don't get it. Hot dogs, yeah, obviously.
Steady.
Not a real dog.
It's the Swiss. Now, the thing is, Steady...
The Swiss are normally so sensible.
That's what I think, yeah.
Well, the Swiss, as we all know, are cowards. Not cowards, pacifists. I'm so sorry. But... what the thing is, I don't understand. What's your beef with eating cat?
Oh, don't even go there.
Well, wow, we've actually
hit a raw nerve.
We've touched a nerve.
Yeah, I like pussycats. I've always liked them, and I think anybody who eats them, especially at Christmas, that is just sick.
Especially at Christmas.
They don't know it's Christmas.
Come on, it's sick.
But if there was one, if you ate it in the summer, you'd kind of...
No, listen, I don't agree with it at any time, but
especially at Christmas, that makes it worse.
That shocked me as well.
But do you not like sheep? Lambs are so cute, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're not pets, are they?
For some people they are.
Not for me.
So because supposing it was a feral cat.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Wildcat.
Supposing it was a wildcat.
Mm-hmm.
Would you eat a wildcat?
No.
Why? Because that's not a pet. That's
why.
wild.
Because I like pussycats. That's why.
What if the cat came up to you and said, Dealey, I don't think you're looking good today.
Yeah.
I think your hair's a bit of a mess.
Yep.
And
It's not a
Arrogant
cartoon.
cat. Arrogant cat.
It was just
No.
really arrogant.
Arrogant cat. But that's what I like about cats, actually, that they are quite arrogant.
Yeah.
They are the boss.
But that's the reason you don't like dolphins.
No, my love for dolphins has now come back. I had an
Oh.
experience about 6 months ago.
With a blowhole?
Yeah. Yes, and my love for dolphins is back. But I can't believe that people now, in the
What
year
about
2000...
meerkat?
A meerkat?
You think they're arrogant since the adverts? Would you eat a meerkat for Christmas?
There was another animal you called arrogant the other day. What was that you turned against?
Pigeons?
Pigeons.
They are arrogant, come on. They ignore the signs all the time, and they just cause chaos.
Okay. So...
I can't believe the pigeons ignore the no chaos sign. It's crazy.
You were asking me this morning how to blow up a pigeon.
No. I was asking you for research purposes. There's a difference there. Some people do that. Those people are sick individuals. The sort of individuals that probably eat pussycat for Christmas.
The thing is, right, you and I, you are on a desert island, okay? There's nothing there. It's literally just one of those little mounds of sand and a palm tree. But you can't eat the palm tree; it's toxic, and you can't eat the fish that are in the sea because that sea is poisonous. There's been a nuclear war.
Yeah.
The only thing on that desert little mound of sand with you is a cat. Mm-hmm. Would you kill the cat and eat it?
What I would do in that situation, I would have to eat to stay alive. That's different, but I couldn't kill the cat myself.
Who's going to kill the cat for you?
I would find somebody else.
There's no one on the island. It's on a mound of sand.
You're going to wait for the cat to die of natural causes?
I'd probably have no option but to kill the cat and eat the cat.
So no. So hang on, no, stop there.
On Christmas Day, I've got options.
You are
right?
totally up for killing a cat and eating it, and yet the Swiss are the sick ones.
So if I was on a desert
the mind
island,
boggles, Justin.
Come on,
the mind boggles, doesn't it? The mind boggles, doesn't it? Seriously, the mind boggles. Seriously, Justin.
Okay.
Talk to you, and the mind boggles.
Quite finished?
No, one more. The mind
Boggles.
Good point, well made.
Should we talk about that squirrel story?
Yeah, go on.
I haven't got it. You've got it in there.
I haven't got it.
There's a school in...
Town in Gridflock to... Gridflock? No. Town in Gridflock to rescue a pigeon?
No, you know the story, don't you, Justin?
It's in Watford, yes.
School in Watford. The children were told that they had to get back in the classrooms. No one go outside. Why? There's a wild animal out there. What wild animal? A lion? A leopard? Maybe a cat?
They know it's a squirrel because you said the squirrel
it's a squirrel,
story.
And apparently it's a slasher. It scratched a teacher.
What?
So now the caretaker's being extra vigilant and the children aren't allowed to freedom to roam.
This is a squirrel we're talking about here, guys. A squirrel. A terrifying squirrel on the loose in Hertfordshire. So what am I taking to the streets? The squirrel?
Yeah, sure, why not?
When animals attack.
And also, you can also, for later on, would you ever eat a cat?
Well, I know what people are going to say to that.
No, you don't, mate. You know what you would like people to say to that?
You can give them the scenario we gave you.
I won't give them that. I'll ask them, would you eat a pussycat for
people
Christmas
think
Day?
they wouldn't, but they definitely would.
No, don't, though, because you're now waiting the question. Would you eat a cat on Christmas Day? Come on, Justin.
Well, that's the story, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
So we're changing the story, are we?
Yeah, we are with the BBC. We're allowed to do that.
Okay. I'll change the story.
Do you know
I'll take it to
Do you
the
know what
streets.
happens to my mind when I speak to you?
It boggles?
It boggles.
Bad boy, I'm on my knees. Forgive me, please. I've been a bad boy. I'm not the man you think I am. I give you warning. You wake up and find me gone some sunny morning. Things that I said run through my head. I've been a bad boy. My past is black. I'm coming such a change in me. I'm making you forget your resolution to run and hide from this confusion. You got to face it, I'm a loser. I'm just a clown when I'm down.
We didn't get to Chubby Hubbies. That's what we were going to send Justin out, Chubby Hubbies. Now he's gone out and Would You Ever Eat a Cat?
There's some women in the female section of the Daily Mail who've told their husbands, hey, let's get dressed up, we're going to go and have our pictures taken for the paper.
Beautiful.
Oh, darling, so what's the article? Nothing sexier than a chubby hubby.
Hey. And as you said to me, am I allowed to say what you just said to me?
Imagine that we're now on.
Yeah, imagine that we're now on. I mean, there is something sexier than a chubby hubby. It's a hubby that's not so chubby, surely, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, he's not... I can't finish that sentence. You can just see the tips of his toes, though, if he's lucky.
I don't fancy it.
Chubby hubby... Should we put that out there to the listeners?
Chubby hubby.
Chubby... What? You can't just... What? Chubby hubby, yes or no?
Yeah.
Or no?
Definite no for
Do the
me.
call me now thing. You've not done that for a while. I like that.
Chubby hubby, yes or no? Call me now, 08459 4555 55.
Hey.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1M southbound, it's looking very heavy on the speed sensors around junction 7 for Stevenage, and on the M1 southbound, it's looking very busy there too between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and the M1 junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's starting to look quite busy between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. Elsewhere in Watford on Hampstead Road, things are moving well through the roadworks at Langley Way, and in Cheshunt on the A10 southbound, it's starting to get busy on the Great Cambridge Road between the New River Trading Estate and the M25 junction 25 for Enfield. Having a look elsewhere in Clapham, things are moving well through the roadworks on the A6 Paula Radcliffe Way around Cutthroat Lane, although they could start to get quite busy later on through those roadworks. Having a look at the trains, there's no reports of any problems at the moment. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you so much. So, the phone-ins this morning... Would you eat a cat? I think the answer would have to be yes. Of course. Why are we so funny? Now I'm a meat eater. I don't care. Did it have a face? Yes, I'll have it, please.
I pretty much eat anything.
Well, I mean, it's just... Anything?
Yep.
Wow.
If it was in a red wine sauce with garlic, yeah.
Let's test it.
OK, let's get some things for her to
Get
eat.
some stuff, yeah.
I'll get some stuff out in a second.
I've got some stuff.
Chubby hubbies, yes or no? Eat this.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. Bucks County Council admits it was aware of risks to children ahead of inspection. 25-year-old cricketer dies after being hit by a cricket ball, and help to be given to first-time buyers in Hertfordshire.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. It's emerged Chief Executive Chris Williams received a letter from the then Children's Services boss in January, 6 months before the inspection. With more details, here's Iain Duncan.
Sue Imbriano, who's since retired from her role, said the large caseload for social workers could result in an increased risk to children. The letter warned that the authority would be likely to fail an Ofsted inspection, and its report rated the County Council's children's services inadequate in June. Chris Williams described the letter as part of the normal management process and said that actions being taken to address her concerns.
It's been announced that the Australian cricketer Philip Hughes has died in hospital after being hit by a cricket ball. He was 25. He was struck during a game between South Australia and New South Wales at the Sydney Cricket Ground earlier this week and never regained consciousness. A mortgage scheme to help more first-time buyers get on the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. The authority has raised the maximum loan size to £250,000 to allow buyers to afford bigger homes. Since 2012, it's helped 167 people get a mortgage in the county, and it's hoping to help around 130 more. Henry Pryor is a housing expert from Hertfordshire. He says this scheme is very positive.
It does demonstrably work because nationally the government, the coalition government, have Help to Buy, it's called, and it is this vicious circle that is always difficult to complete. Do you help people to afford what they can't otherwise aspire to, or do you let the market do its worst and for prices to fall so that people can then afford them?
There's a call for a public inquiry into sex abuse allegations at the Yarlswood Immigration Removal Centre in Bedfordshire. Last year, 3 members of staff were sacked after a detainee claimed to be the victim of abuse. Labour MP Carl Turner asked Prime Minister David Cameron whether Serco should have had its £70 million contract renewed.
When these contracts have gone wrong, and he's right, in some cases they have gone wrong, that this is properly looked at, investigated, and lessons are learned. And on occasion, we've made sure that serious amounts of money has been recovered from the companies concerned. But what I think we shouldn't do is use 1 or 2 bad contracts to fulfil the trade union's dream of ending all contracts altogether.
The body, which advises the NHS in England, is calling for thousands more people with type 2 diabetes to be offered weight loss surgery. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence says increasing the number of procedures, such as gastric bypass operations, would save money for the NHS in the long term. Liverpool have put qualification for the Champions League knockout stages in their own hands, despite conceding a late equaliser and drawing 2-2 against Bulgarian champions Ludogorets. Meanwhile, Arsenal have qualified for the Champions League knockout stage following a 2-0 win over Borussia Dortmund. And the weather, it will be cloudy and misty today with some rain and patchy fog. This morning, highs of 10 Celsius. That's 50 in Fahrenheit. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With the big phone-in, the hottest topic of the day and your consumer problems.
From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Multi-platinum recording artist Michael Ball talks to me about his new album.
From 3.
Roberto Peroni.
I'm here with a roundup of the day's news, the latest travel and your stories.
From 7.
Mark Forrest.
I'll bring you the best bits from everything that's been happening on BBC Local Radio.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, I've just seen the funniest thing in the world.
We just put Kelly Betts in what I think is it's either a guitar case or a microphone case. We just put her in it and carried her around. She fitted. We just put Kelly Betts in a guitar case and carried her around. Both Kath and I took turns doing it. It was fun, wasn't it? It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Well, you knew it was happening. I turned round, the door opened, and then they both come. One carrying the other.
I think if we had enough time, and if Barry had taken a little bit longer with the news, we could have zipped her up in there. That was that was the initial plan. But boy, oh boy, okay, this is the show this morning. What have you put other people in? I think we've all done it with our kids, haven't we? We've put them in inappropriate clothes.
Boxes.
Kids in boxes is the best. Obviously, within certain safety requirements. I'm not saying we put them in there and shut the... Yes, you poke holes in for the air. What have you put somebody in, please? Living or dead?
No.
No.
Not dead.
No, because people have their ashes. People's ashes in very bizarre bits of equipment, don't they? Don't they? Not just urns. Oh, I want my ashes. Some people have ashes in a locket. A ring. Some people put them in their ring. You know those little rings where you flip, you can put stuff in there? Well, listen, we may get nothing on this, but sometimes you really go with this, so I appreciate it. What have you put people in? 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
We've all tied someone in a sleeping bag, haven't we, and locked it, and then kind of run around with them, haven't we?
Do you know what I got put in?
Jail?
My own skirt.
What?
I was wearing a dress with a very full skirt at school.
Yeah.
And one of the bigger girls got hold of the skirt pulled it over my head and trapped me in it.
Okay, this is wonder. How did you escape from your skirt?
I didn't. She had to release me.
Okay, we're back in the New York groove. Forget the first hour. So, what have you put someone in? 08459 455 555, and what have the bigger children done to you?
Oh, everyone could see my pants.
What have the bigger kids done to you? 08459 455 555. Wow,
she held the top like a sack. Leslie Garrard, if you're listening, I remember.
I bet she does as well.
Still laughing.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, Buckinghamshire County Council knew its child protection systems were failing vulnerable children at least 6 months before they were criticised by Ofsted. It's emerged that Chief Executive Chris Williams received a letter from the then Head of Children's Services, Sue Imbriano, warning him that the Council's inability to assign enough social workers meant vulnerable children were being put at increased risk. Well, Sue Imbriano joins me now on the line. Morning, Sue.
Good morning.
Just remind us what the main problems were with the children's services in Buckinghamshire.
Well, there were a number of factors, Iain, that we were considering. I mean, we were 9 months into a change programme of the way we were delivering social care for children and families, 9 months of a 3 to 5 year programme, and that coincided with a really significant increase in the number of referrals into the authority, up by about 70% on the previous year, and an issue which faces many, many children's services authority across the country was significant difficulty in recruiting permanent qualified staff. So all of those issues were coming together at that particular point.
So why did you write this letter?
Well,
if things were being worked on already?
As Director of Children's Services, I had a professional responsibility to ensure that the Council was aware of issues in relation to children's safeguarding and, of course, a moral imperative to raise concerns.
And do you think that those concerns were listened to when you sent that letter to Chris Williams?
Well, the Council has set out its response in its statement to the press, and also in the letter I indicated the things we were already planning and had in place.
In a statement, Chris Williams says he responded by agreeing responded to your letter by agreeing additional resources to tackle the backlog of cases and to provide further support. Do you think this was effective, or was it just papering over the cracks?
As I indicated before, Iain, I think the Council set out what it did in terms of response. At the same time, I also indicated in the letter I was acutely aware of the financial position and financial challenges the Council had. But I think what's really important is that now the Council is investing more resources in children's services. There is an implementation plan in place, so things will move forward.
Councillors, it would appear, were not made aware of your concerns. Is that surprising?
I think that's a question you will have to ask individual councillors or indeed individual officers. That's not for me to answer.
Would you have expected them to have been made aware, though, of your letter?
Certainly there were discussions that we had previously to my writing the letter with members about issues, reports that we presented to members. So, but again, in terms of that specific question, it's not something I can answer.
Chief Executive Chris Williams says this wasn't a statutory letter. What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
I believe that that's with reference to the meeting of the Regulatory and Audit Committee, which took place, I believe, in September. And I think the minutes of that meeting indicate what the definition of statutory letters or statutory officers are. I believe there are regulations around statutory officers within a council and reporting mechanisms. I believe that's what's being referred to, Iain.
You said in the letter that the council needed a change in culture as well as practice. What was wrong with the culture regarding children's services?
Well, as I said, we started off a change programme. We were changing the way we were working with children and families, and that does require a change of culture when you enter into a major change programme. So, absolutely, we recognise that.
Do you think that things have improved now? Are you from what you know, are you happier with the situation?
I don't think that's for me to say, because clearly I'm not party to, for example, the drawing up of the improvement plan, and I think you need to ask current officers and current members about progress.
Sue, thank you very much indeed. That's Sue and Brianna. We did invite Bucks County Council Chief Executive Chris Williams and its leader Martin Tett onto the programme, but both were unavailable. We're hoping that Chris will be able to speak to us tomorrow morning. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Catherine Boyle.
Yes.
Have we got any texts?
Yes.
Go on, what we got? My phones have gone funny in here, so I can't see if people are ringing in. I'm assuming they're not.
No, not yet.
Okay.
But they will. Robin Watford says,
Yes.
Are you doing your studio drop-in at Christmas again this year? If so, I'm in. And
Yeah,
I'll
why not?
bring some mince pies. He didn't actually write that. He did a typo. I'll tell you about that later.
You said...
He also said the daily schedule for jihadists is clearly wrong. They definitely have karaoke and cabaret on alternate nights.
Maybe it wasn't a typo. Yeah, we will. Because I was off sick, right, I am contracted. I have a very weird contract, which means I'm contracted to provide, it's either 47 or 48 weeks of entertainment a year. Now, because I'm not providing the entertainment, I'm only taking 3 days off over Christmas, basically. I think I'm taking Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day off, which I think are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that way. I don't know. So it'll be pretty much... The shows will get even slacker than this over the Christmas period. Which
So
is something to
the
look forward
answer is
to.
yes, Rob, bring in your pies.
Yeah, we will have a show. Thank you, Kelly Betts.
You're welcome,
That's weak
Hannah.
coffee.
We haven't got any coffee.
So what is that made out of?
1 scoop of coffee between 2 cups.
Oh.
Why
Basically.
did you not just make me 1 cup of coffee and...
What about the talent, Kath?
True that.
True that. Hey, did you enjoy being in that guitar case?
I'm going to do it again and zip it up.
Okay, yeah.
I think I can do it.
Okay, cool. Take your shoes off.
Yeah, do it.
Can we film it?
With a
Excellent.
drum roll.
So we will have at least one day where it'll be an open door policy.
Yeah.
You can all rock up if you want. Yes, of course.
We
Oh, by the way, if there are any bands, if there are any bands that want to come in and
Brass
play
bands.
live, brass bands, string quartets, Beatles tribute bands, those tight harmony groups, ukulele, anything that's not just
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac want to come in.
They were brilliant.
If any bands want to come in and play over the Christmas couple of weeks, then ian.lee@bbc.co.uk.
Tony from Chertsey is at present in Apsley on the Grand Union Canal.
Hey up, Tony!
He says, to my mind, councils have far too much money and power because we have no choice about the level of council tax. I wonder what would happen if we all refused to pay. I take it that's in response to the story that first-time buyers are being given a hand up onto the property ladder by Hertfordshire County Council. They're giving them pretty decent mortgages.
95%. I don't think that's decent. I think that's dangerous.
Well,
I'm going to say a word I don't like, because I don't like my boys using it, but that sounds stupid to me.
At a time when mortgage companies are being very, very careful, and rightfully so, they are offering something like £250,000 for a 5%.
Do you remember when the world collapsed in 2008? Why was it? Oh, yeah, because they were giving mortgages to people who couldn't necessarily afford it. They were giving bigger mortgages. The thing is, you might be able to afford a 95% mortgage now, but in 6 months, a year, when the interest rates start going up, then guess what? Your payments go up, guys. Well, I remember when I got my mortgage, every mortgage I've ever had, I worked out, how much could I borrow, what could I pay now, and what could I pay if the interest went up by about 3%? Could I afford to pay that? Yeah, I can. All right, fine, I'll go for it.
We've not dropped our payments because we want to make sure that we're still used to giving that amount of money out.
Clever! Overpaying.
Yeah.
Not an option available to everybody, but if you can, it's certainly worth doing.
Well, our mortgage went through the floor. We wouldn't have had to pay very much at all, but then you get used to a certain kind of lifestyle, don't you? It's dangerous.
La vida loca. 08459 455 555. One more text before we go to Trav?
No.
Kelly,
yes, hang on, here's one.
Do not put yourself in that guitar case until I'm in there to watch.
Well, hang on, because the zip's broke, so it won't do up. So I'm just trying to fix
Kath's a mum, she'll fix a zip. Go on, what's the text? We're late for...
Hey, Wally, is SP special postage the Buying It Man in Milton Keynes?
No, it was Session Player, for goodness sakes. He's talking about Jimi Edwards. Hendrix.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 towards London, it's looking very slow between junction 9 for Redbourne and 7 for Hemel Hempstead. It's because of a vehicle fire, and that has been moved to the hard shoulder, but it is still looking very slow past that scene. Also on the M1 southbound, it's looking very heavy as well between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and the M1 junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road. On the A1 southbound, it's starting to look slow between the St Neots junction and the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks. In Watford, Exchange Road's looking quite busy around Upton Road, and in Markyate, looking at the speed sensors, the A5 southbound's building up now between Lynch Hill and the M1 junction 9 for Redbourne. There's no reports of any problems at the moment on the trains. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you so much. 7:16, he says as he taps away on his mouse. It's Thursday the 27th of November. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. And there are calls for a public inquiry into sex abuse allegations at the Yarlswood Immigration Centre in Bedfordshire.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ahead of our next trail, well, I think these items tie in very nicely with it. A quick recap of what you can phone in about. Would you ever eat cat?
When animals attack.
What have the big kids done to you or your children? And what have you put people in? 08459 455 555.
And chubby hobbies, yes or no?
I think that ties in nicely with local journalism.
Your world is full of the things that are most important to you.
Now the County Council's wondering if it can take the buses away too, by building bus tunnels underneath.
From what's happening in the next street to what's happening in the next town.
The fire was at its peak at around 9 o'clock when there were 60 firefighters and 20 engines here.
You don't want to just know about it, you want to really understand it.
It's a busy road, this is, for cyclists. Do you think it should be a legal requirement that cyclists have to wear helmets?
Your local news matters on BBC Local Radio, TV and online.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
First-time buyers are getting extra help onto the housing ladder from Hertfordshire County Council as part of a mortgage scheme. Most first-time buyers in the county are families looking for 2 or more bedroom homes, that's according to the local authority, which has increased the maximum loan size by £60,000 to £250,000. You could get a mortgage of up to 95% of the property price. Well, in a moment, we'll hear from Conservative Herts County Councillor David Williams, who's Deputy Cabinet Member for Resources. But first off, let's speak to Jo Morris from Redbourne, who, with husband Brett and their son Leo, sought the local authorities' help to get on the property ladder. Morning, Jo.
Morning.
Why did you go to the local authority to help you?
Well, we'd been looking at various schemes at the time when we were looking to move. We were privately renting, and we were trying to get a mortgage and just realised it wasn't going to happen because we just didn't have a big enough deposit. And I saw the scheme mentioned on the Hearts Direct website and looked into it, and it seemed just like a really good deal, much better than the sort of part-own, part-rent schemes that were about, and it just seemed like it would be the perfect way for us to get onto the property ladder.
So how did it work? What did you have to do to get help?
Well, we had to go and see someone from Lloyds Bank, and it was basically like a normal mortgage application.
Yeah.
They just did credit checks, various things like that, check that we could afford the repayments, and that was it, really. That was really simple.
I don't need to know the figures, but we're hearing talk of 95% mortgages. Does yours come close to that?
Yes, yeah, it was a 95% mortgage, yes.
Does that not worry you, Jo, having such a big percentage of mortgage?
No, it didn't, to be honest with you, because we'd spent so much money renting,
yeah,
and we had a young child, and we were just thinking we'd never ever be able to get onto the property ladder. That was actually worrying me more than the thought of having a big mortgage, and it wasn't going to be as bad as having a 100% mortgage. So for us, it seemed like a really good deal. We could afford the repayments each month. It was just that initial lump sum.
Yeah, that's the tricky bit, isn't it? Getting the significant deposit together.
Definitely, yes.
And obviously you've done, this will sound really patronising, but I'm an old man. You've done all the maths, haven't you? And when the interest rates go up, you'll be able to cope with those payments.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we looked into it in quite a bit of depth, and the bank was very helpful. And we realised that we spoke to family members and friends who had mortgages and were more experienced than us, and got some good advice.
How old's your boy?
He was 2 last week.
Oh, fantastic. So he's perhaps a little bit too young to realise the significance, but is he settling in? Have you moved into the house?
Yes, we've been here for a year and a half.
Oh, OK,
now.
so you've been there for a while. OK,
yes,
OK.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
And it is... I've got 2 young boys as well, and we went from renting to buying. And it's good to know, isn't it, that you've got your own property. That's your home, and you can do with that what you want.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's just really nice to know that we've been making improvements to this place, and to know that we're, instead of just having to pay someone else's mortgage, we're paying our own and making a bit of an investment for our future, and hopefully building up to a bigger move at some point as well.
Jo, thank you very much indeed. And I'm glad that that's been a success story. We're joined now by Conservative Herts County Councillor David Williams, the council's Deputy Cabinet Member for Resources. Why are local authorities getting involved in this type of scheme, David?
Well, we've seen a lot of development in Hertfordshire, and we've got a very buoyant housing market. But the one issue is that in a market where house prices are going up, there's this real difficulty for people to get on the ladder. And this is a way in which we can, in a very straightforward way, help borrowers be considered by 2 lenders, so the lenders are Lloyds and the Leeds Building Society, to be considered as though they were borrowing on the basis of a 75% loan-to-value ratio.
Are you not concerned about the 95% mortgages? Because isn't that partly how the financial market collapsed in 2007 and 2008?
Well, your expert, Henry Pryor, was on the radio earlier, and he was talking about the mortgage market review. So there has been a really thorough review about how lenders operate in this market. And so borrowers need to pass lenders' credit tests and verify their income. You know, the days of flimsy proof of ability to afford a mortgage, and remember that whole business about self-certification? Well, that's all behind us now. And so borrowers like Joe and Brett have got to clearly demonstrate their ability to afford the repayments now, but also in the future if interest rates, for instance, were to change.
Shouldn't the council be buying more council housing stock to help out with the housing market and the situation for families in trouble?
The county council is not responsible for providing social housing, but the district councils and the boroughs around the county are doing their best. But this is a relatively simple way in which we can give help for people like Joe and Brett to settle in Hertfordshire.
And a nice little earner for the council as well, isn't it?
Well, it's not a big earner. The mechanics of this scheme is that the county council puts money on deposit with these 2 lenders, and we are paid a small premium to enable those monies to be used to support the scheme.
David, thank you very much indeed.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. beginning to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we've paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll
wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Who's picking up after that dog?
Hey! Ah, sweet, sweet music.
come travel light, that's hobo style.
Maybe tomorrow I'll turn the play, go home.
That's public fouling.
Till tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Do-do-do-do. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Ian.
What's your beef?
Well, my beef is you playing music between 7 and 9 o'clock.
Sorry?
Which you're not allowed to do. For a long time I've campaigned to get the music taken off of Three Counties Radio.
Why would you campaign to get the music taken off? Music's great. Music is the doctor. Makes you feel like you're Otter.
No, because Three Counties Radio is primarily a speech-based station, and it always used to be.
Yeah, it used. There's the word, Paul. It used to be.
No, it still is. And
No. It used to be. Now we play a bit of music.
Well, I've been in touch with the BBC Trust a long time, and I've got a lot of correspondence, and I know the rules very well.
Do you, Paul?
Between in your prime time, between 7 and 10 o'clock in the morning, you're not allowed to play music.
Oh.
And then, even then, when you are allowed to play music, you can only take up 60% of the station's output.
That's bad.
So
I'm really sorry, man.
So you shouldn't be playing that.
I'm really sorry. I won't do it again.
And not only that, but it was a dreadful record anyway.
Okay, sorry, Paul. I won't do that again.
All right then.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Bye.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. We go where we want to, do what we like to do. We don't have time to get restless, there's always something new. Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. We're just trying to be friendly, come and watch, sing and play. We're the young generation, and we've got something to say. Anytime or anywhere, just look over your shoulder, guess who'll be standing there? Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. One time.
Yes, Tony, what would you like to say, boss?
I'd like to say I love the music in the morning, Ian. Keep playing it.
Thank you very much, Tony. Here we go.
Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. We're just trying to be friendly, come and watch, sing and play. We're the young generation, and we've got something to say.
There shall be no more music ever again. You will not listen to music.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 towards London, there's been a vehicle fire between junction 9 for Redbourne and 7 for Hemel Hempstead. It's making it very slow past there at the moment. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's looking very slow on the speed sensors between junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. And the North Orbital Road is queuing around the M25 junction 21A roundabout. In Hemel Hempstead on the A41 southbound, it's very heavy between Two Waters Road and the M25 junction 20 at Kings Langley. In Watford, Beach and Grove's looking quite busy around Escort Road, and on the A1 southbound, it's looking very slow between the St Neots Junction and the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks that are in place there. There's no reports of any problems though on the trains. Samantha Braff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. 6 months before the inspection, Chief Executive Chris Williams received a letter from the then Children's Services boss Sue Imbriano. A mortgage scheme to help more first-time buyers get on the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. The authority has raised the maximum loan size to £250,000 to allow buyers to afford larger homes. And the Australian cricketer Phil Hughes has died 2 days after being hit on the head by a ball. He was struck by a delivery while batting in a first-class match in Sydney despite wearing a helmet. Doctors say he never regained consciousness. And the weather, a cloudy and misty day ahead with some rain this morning and patchy fog too. Highs of 10 Celsius, that's 50 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger says he is proud of the fact that the club have qualified for the knockout stages of the Champions League for the 15th successive season. They reached the milestone with a 2-0 win over Borussia Dortmund at the Emirates. And Wenger says it is a big achievement.
When you work in a football club, you will realise that it's not easy to have a continuity and to be consistent, and I'm very proud of that. I think as well the club deserves a lot of credit for that. It's not enough because we want more than that, but we are consistent.
Liverpool have put qualification for the Champions League knockout stages in their own hands, despite conceding a late equaliser and drawing 2-2 against Bulgarian champions Ludogorets. Midfielder Adeline Guadiara has signed for Watford on loan until January. The Algerian international has moved from Crystal Palace, where he's featured 4 times in the Premier League this season. Meanwhile, Watford striker Uche Ikpeazu will spend a second loan spell with League One side Crewe Alexandra. In rugby, England head coach Stuart Lancaster names his side that will face Australia at Twickenham later today. George Ford is expected to retain his place at fly half following an impressive display in the win over Samoa last weekend. And at the UK Snooker Championship, the world champion Mark Selby is through to the second round at the York Barbican. He beat Oliver Brown 6-0 last night. BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'll be back with a full bulletin at 8 o'clock.
Call 08459 455
Right.
555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Got a lot to talk about this morning. Let's just have a little recap. Would you ever eat cat like the Swiss do? Of course you would. What's the problem with eating cat?
If you had to, we all would, wouldn't we?
Of course we would. I would. I've said this before. If I was starving on a desert island, I would kill my cat and eat it. I don't know. I cannot imagine a scenario where I'd be on a desert island with my cat.
No.
But Velvet would totally get it. She's being very annoying last night. She nearly got it last night. We're asking that. Chubby hubby, yay or nay?
Mm-hmm. Some people prefer them a little bit, you know.
What's the
juicier?
Oh dear. The bigger the cushion, the no.
No.
I'm trying to think of something to hold on to.
Yeah.
Whoa. What else are we talking about?
We're talking about...
what have the big kids done to you? We won't get any calls on that, but I just love saying it.
What have you been put in or put someone else in?
There we go, perfect. 08459 455 555. We're also now seemingly discussing the music policy here at BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's a fascinating subject.
Lelsey's in Luton. Morning, Lelsey.
Leslie.
I'm Ian. Nice to meet you, Lelsey.
Nice to meet you too, Ian. Wagwan.
Wagwan, Lelsey. Leslie, I'm so sorry. It was written incorrectly on the screen. You're on Fizzler 1. Lelsey. What have you got for us, Les? Les!
No, instead of that geezer that phoned up earlier.
The geezer?
Yeah, he was 100% right about the music you are playing.
Geezer? Sorry?
Yeah.
The what? The
geezer? The geezer, yeah.
Geezer? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Paul phoned up to say that we shouldn't be playing music.
That we're not allowed.
We're not allowed to play music.
No, you can play music as long as you play the right music.
He said we're not allowed to play music.
Did he know?
Yes.
Oh.
But you think we can play music?
Of course, as long as you're playing my type of music.
What kind of music do you like?
Well, reggae.
Reggae music?
Yeah?
Why do you like reggae music?
Oh, Christ, it's in my jeans, not the one I'm wearing.
Hey! He did a Jean joke. The Jean Genie, she loves Leslie. Would you like a little bit of ragga? Are you ragamuffin style? I'm on a ragga tip at the moment. I'm feeling ragamuffin styly.
Well, put one on.
Okay, here we go. It
will wake the Jamaican community up this
Let's
morning.
wake the lazy Jamaican community up, shall we? When I say lazy, I'm not. Oh, for goodness sakes!
Shall I sing your Ian? Shall I sing your song?
Oh, sweet mama, yes.
Okay. Tell me when to go.
Ready?
Hello?
I'm just getting the atmosphere. I'm getting the vibe ready. Ready?
Ready? Oh, go on.
Ready? This is how they do. This is how orchestras start music.
Oh.
Ready? Ready? Steady? Go.
Don't play your rock and roll to me. That ain't the way it's meant to be. I'm not so blind, but I can see. Don't play your rock and roll to me. You like that one?
That is the worst singing I have ever heard in my life. Should we have a real... name me a famous reggae ragga star, and we'll play one of their tunes.
All right, I'm not going to go down the ragga
you're
side.
not on a ragga... I'm on a ragga tip. Do I need to go off
play me a Dennis Brown.
Here we go.
Well, this is Chucky Star, alongside Sido. And we'll be keeping the vibes flowing. Oh, see that girl. She does something to my chemistry. Out at sea. When I'm close, I'm sure she raised my temperature by
Leslie?
3 degrees.
Leslie? We haven't got Dennis Brown, but we've got Sid Owen.
Every day.
This is reggae music, yeah?
In every wish she made.
Yeah, this is reggae.
My motto goes.
It's working for me.
Not working for Paul and Biggleswade.
And I reciprocate.
Leslie, you like this?
My life I dead.
Leslie?
Yeah.
You like this? Sid Owen?
Yeah.
Here we go.
We got a good thing going. A real good Sid Owen. Yeah, that girl and me.
You like it, Les?
Yep.
Yeah, you like this kind of reggae?
Yeah, 70s music.
This is I think was the late 90s. It's Sid Owen. It's Ricky from EastEnders.
Ricky! Singing about Bianca.
It's Ricky from EastEnders, Les.
Really? I don't watch EastEnders.
Okay.
I think they should take that program off the TV.
I think they should take that program off and give them all recording careers if they make songs as good as this.
Really?
Yay! You know what I'm talking about, Just?
Oh, do you know what? The video to this song as well was even better.
It was filmed in Bedford, wasn't it? On a beach.
I think it was, in Bedford on the beach. Yeah, great record.
Beautiful. Leslie!
Hello!
Thank you so much for that.
No problem. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, see you later, fella. Ta-ta.
You know what that made me do, don't you?
Go on.
The dirty wine.
The what? Show me a dirty wine.
That is dirty.
I'm boogling.
Boogling?
I'm boogling.
What does that mean?
It's that, isn't it?
Oh, wow. You're bump and grinding.
Yeah.
And I would have liked me and you to be together until we hold. And this loving and me can't control. And me see how you alone.
I used to know all the words to this.
I did actually put some Dennis Brown in for Leslie.
Ah, screw that, loser.
Leslie.
Sid Owen, white reggae's where it's at. Because it's just a little bit easier on the ear. Less bounce. Too bouncy, the other stuff.
Standing whenever hand in hand.
Good stuff. I could listen to that.
What's Sid Owen doing now?
Sorry?
What's Sid Owen doing now?
Probably,
Sid, call us, 08459 455.
Justin, you came out with the nonsense that you would never eat a cat.
Of course I wouldn't.
You deviant.
It's in the papers today. I thought this was a wind-up. In Switzerland, they eat pussycats at Christmas. And there's a petition over there to stop this. And they say the nation is fully behind this petition. 16,000 people have signed that. That's nothing. Can you imagine in this country if we had a petition to stop people eating cats, if it was to happen, it'd be more than 16,000.
Well, the thing is, I think, in fairness, there are only 23,000 people living in Switzerland, so that is quite a significant majority.
Every single person should be signing that petition.
No,
it's outrageous.
Mate, it's a tradition. Listen, you're British, you're English, excuse me, right? And you like the English traditions.
Yeah.
You like fish and chips, a little bit of casual racism and football.
What?
You like the English traditions, okay? You don't want anyone telling you you can't do something just because it's not PC, it's not acceptable anymore.
We've got to go with the times. You can't be killing cats for Christmas.
Hang on a minute. You're telling us you've got to go with the times?
Absolutely.
Jason Donovan?
Come on. Eating cats for Christmas.
Beautiful.
Scary.
Eating cats for Christmas. Christmas time for cats. Remember, guys, a cat's not just for Christmas. If you stretch it out, you can have it right through till New Year.
Oh, gosh, really?
Guys? You like that one, Kels?
No.
Hey, you like the one, Just?
No,
Would
sick
you
and
like
bite.
that one, listener?
Sickened.
Sicken by it. Well, you've taken it to the... Someone's just made up the hashtag on a Sido in Raggatip. Thank you, Mark. Anyway, you've taken this to the street, and I'm guessing most people agree with me.
No, not at all. I've taken it to the streets asking people would they eat a pussycat, but also this scenario that you gave me.
Yes.
You said to me, what if you was on a desert island?
What if you was on a desert island?
Would you then kill a cat? Would you eat a cat?
Yeah, of course.
I've taken that scenario to the streets as well. It's a double header, this one.
Wowzers.
Boss, here's what happened.
OK.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
VJ, would you ever eat a pussycat?
No. Why not? Because it's a cat, innit? It's a pet.
What if you was on a desert island and it was just you and there was nothing else living on that island apart from no, it's not a joke, apart from a pussycat, okay? Would you then kill the cat? Would you eat the cat?
I don't know, it depends. It depends on how desperate I got.
Do you want to live or not?
Yeah, well, depends how, like I said, I might find something else, like some vegetables or something.
No, there's nothing else there, apart from a cat.
How would a cat be there? How would a cat survive on a desert island?
What would you do? Come on.
No, I'm not answering it.
Madam, would you ever eat a pussycat?
Never. No. They're so cute. You don't eat pets.
What if you was on a desert island and that was the only living thing there? You had to kill that cat to survive. Would you kill it? Would you eat it?
No.
David, man to man, would you ever eat a pussycat?
No. Never.
Do those people who do that, do they make you sick?
Yes. Anybody who touches an animal like that makes me sick.
It's getting quite deep, I can feel the emotion. Thanks for your time, sir.
Okay.
What do you mean by pussycat?
What, pussycat?
What do you mean?
Pussycat? No.
I've got a real passion for donkeys.
Well, he wouldn't want to talk to that fella, would he? What do you mean pussycat?
I know.
How can anyone not be aware of the concept of a pussycat?
Some people are not quite aware of what a pussycat is, but they're clearly in. I mean, I don't know what you're saying this morning. Something's clearly in your coffee. Nobody...
Not coffee, that's
nobody on the streets would, A, want to eat a cat, let alone kill a cat on a desert island.
You're wrong.
They would prefer to die.
There was one fella there that refused to answer, probably for religious purposes, but I think we can get from that what he wants. He wants cat. He wants roast cat. Imagine a cat on a stick over an open fire. There's nothing more romantic.
It wouldn't be very big, though, would it? You wouldn't get a lot.
You're starving on a desert island, mate. You
Guys,
make do with what you get.
Switzerland is, what, an hour away on a flight? This is happening. This is real life. It's shocking. I would advise anybody listening to this right now in Switzerland to sign that petition. 16,000, not enough for my liking.
Yeah, thank you very much, Justin. Bob Geldorf. Forget Band-Aids. What about cat aids?
Ban cat.
Ban cat. Well, but let's ban cats. No, hang on a second.
No.
Forget cat. No, I can hear that as well.
What is that noise?
I don't know. I think it's my mind trying to think of a joke around Band-Aid and cats, and it's really struggling.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 M1 towards London, there's a vehicle fire between junction 9 for Redbourne and 7 for Hemel Hempstead. It has been moved to the hard shoulder, but it is still looking very slow there past the scene on the speed sensors. Having a look at the motorways, the A1M southbound's looking very heavy between junction 3 for St Albans and 2 for Welham Green, and the M25 anti-clockwise is very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. In Hemel Hempstead, having a look at the A41 southbound on the speed sensors, it's looking very heavy between Two Waters Road and the M25 junction 20 for Kings Langley, and in High Wycombe on the A40 Abbey flyover, it's looking very busy there in both directions past the University College to the bottom of Marlow Hill. Checking the train departure boards, there's no delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Samantha?
Yes?
Would you ever eat a cat?
Never. Save the cats.
Never. If you're in a desert island, okay, because things have gone wrong because you keep mentioning TalkSport on BBC local radio, so
don't jinx it.
No, I mean you've not done it for at least 20 minutes. So your career has just gone completely to pot. Maybe literally, I don't know. You're on a desert island with only a cat. There's no food. You'd kill that cat and eat it, wouldn't you?
No, they'd be my friend and they can hunt mice for me.
There's no mice. There's no mice. When you die, that cat's going to eat you. You know that, don't you?
That's horrible.
Yeah, the facts are horrible. That's why I tend not to deal in facts very often. We leave the facts to Justin, don't we?
Yeah, he deals on fact, not fiction.
That's the fella. I deal in fracking, not friction.
No.
Okay. 7:47. It's Thursday, the 27th of November. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. And a mortgage scheme to help more first-time buyers get on the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. Would you ever eat a cat? Where have you put somebody?
Chubby hobbies, yes or no?
And what have the big kids done to you? 08459 455 555. Let's get the weather. Here's Georgina.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. A bit of hill fog around first thing, but a fairly cloudy day generally. We've got more of that nasty drizzle around as well. Temperatures reaching about 11 or 12 degrees Celsius. It does get a little bit brighter by the afternoon, but I'm afraid we're not going to see much of the sunny stuff today. Slightly warmer though, and a milder night to follow. Staying cloudy, more of that light rain. Temperatures down to about 8 degrees Celsius. Now, it's a cloudy start to tomorrow, but it is gradually clearing from the southeast corner. That may mean that more western parts, they don't see the benefit of that because the sun sets so early. But elsewhere, particularly the further east you are, the more likely you are to see some sunny spells in the afternoon. It does look like it should stay dry tomorrow, though, but the winds are likely to pick up. Temperatures reaching 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. It's pretty much peaking for the week. Now, it does look like it should stay dry over the weekend. Fairly cloudy. It does brighten up a little bit on Saturday as the winds ease as well. That's your latest forecast.
Every weekday from 12, Nick Coffer brings you
the wickedly funny Anne on Strictly Come Dancing. Do you know who the real Anne is?
Great guests.
Yes, the real Anne is an amalgam of all these things. We're all multifaceted.
Jasper Carrot's career spans 5 decades.
And then you had to wear a bow tie and you had to do jokes about silly Irishmen and mother-in-laws.
John Cleese is eating his microphone, aren't you, John Cleese?
Great music.
Ow! In fact, I don't even think it had the horn part then.
Great conversations.
I always have said throughout my career, you get me on board, I'll give you 100%.
Have you still got it, Billy Ocean?
Well, the audience seems to think I have.
Nick Coffer.
Here we go.
Weekdays from 12.
Here we go.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Paul in Biggleswade, here we go. This proves that we're doing something right. Got a tweet.
Oh, good.
From Jessica.
Yes.
Who's Jessica?
Ennis.
No. Jessica, I'm 14. I love your show. She's a 14-year-old girl. In your face, the old people. Yeah. Dad puts it on every morning. I think it's good to play music in the morning. It wakes people up. You go to her little bio. I like to, if people follow me or send me messages, I like to have a little look at them.
Yeah, I do.
My name is
Jessica. And then I see whether I'm going to take them seriously or not.
Yeah, and also if they've got a lot of followers. She's only got 92, but still. My name is Jessica. My life is all about One Direction. My weakness is Niall.
Oh.
Hey?
The river?
And
He's the less obvious choice, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
So, more gettable.
She's quirky. I like that. We got 14-year-old Jessica, who is now the official spokesperson for youth culture on this show.
Well done, Jessica.
Because normally when the BBC gets someone to talk about youth culture, they're 38.
Mm-hmm.
There was a debate the other day on one of the radio shows about breastfeeding between two men. What? Come on, guys, we're the BBC, and this is where it changes. Jessica, you're the official spokesperson for young people on this show, and I hope you're hip to the scene, Daddy-O. The fact I'm saying hip to the scene, Daddy-O, means we need you more than ever.
Shirley Milton Keynes is behind you.
What?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Tell that miserable man it's nice to have some music in between the chat, etc. It wakes me up and it's nice, so ignore what he says, it's only him. Shirley Milton Keynes.
And we had Sid Owen this morning as a special guest.
We did.
Wow, I've never heard that.
We did.
Whoa. That's the most patronising sound that's ever come out of your mouth.
I can do another one.
Go on. Hey, here's a story that'll get you hot under the collar. The theft of 2 charity boxes has taken the shine off the fundraising efforts of one local branch of the Royal British Legion. It's unknown how much money was in the boxes, which were raising money for the Legion's annual Poppy Appeal in Ware. Police are currently investigating the theft from Christchurch, which happened the day before Remembrance Day. Well, George Rist is chairman of the Ware branch and joins us now. Morning, George.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you feeling about this?
Gutted, to be honest. If people are in... When I know that people walk up and down in all weathers collecting and somebody's got the God-given right to walk into a church and take something like this, it's disgusting, I think. Absolutely.
I've got no idea how much was in there. Did you have a kind of rough guesstimate?
All I know is that the boxes, the little red boxes, they will hold, if there's no notes, they will hold up to about £250. If there's notes, there could be a lot more.
Blimey, so this is potentially a few £100 that's gone missing. That's for the Poppy Appeal.
There's 2 of them, wasn't there? Right. There's 2 churches that both lost their boxes. So you possibly could be looking at £400 or £500, which is a couple of wheelchairs for people coming home from war-torn countries.
What kind of person do you think would do this, George?
I can't actually tell you on air.
Oh.
Because my termination, my wording for people like this is not something that I would like to discuss. They're dirt. I can't say anything more than that. They are rubbish. I mean, the thing that bothers me more than anything else is that it seems as though they're entitled to do it. You know, and that's what gets up my nose.
There's a strong chance, George, that they may be listening, or one of their friends might be listening. Your message to them?
Well, there's no message to do, because I can't turn around and say, can I have it back? Because I know what they wouldn't have taken it in the first place if they was going to give it back. There's nothing. The only message I can say is, you've got away with it at the moment. I hope the police catch you, but please, don't do it again.
I can hear how, not just angry, but upset you are by this.
Well, yeah, I am, really, because there's a 10 days, really, over the Poppy Appeal period. There's a lot of people who work very hard. I mean, you think that when people see somebody on the street and they put a coin into a box, it doesn't end there. All that money has got to be counted. And you get 4 or 5 ladies into our local club room. They sit there and they count box after box after box. Then it's all got to be banked. So it's not just people putting money into a box. It's all got to come out again and counted and banked. You know, and when I think how hard these people work, it's all you know, they don't get paid for it. And then somebody does that sort of thing. I am upset over it, very, very upset over it.
George, let's keep our fingers crossed. You never know what might happen, and maybe they'll have attack of conscience, or let's keep our fingers crossed that there is some kind of happy ending to this.
Well, one of the things that it doesn't help is that Lisa Carter, this year is the first time. She's the Poppy Appeal organiser for this area. It's her first year. And when something like this happens on your first year, it's a bit demoralising. But she's a strong lady, and I think she'll get over it.
George, I really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
OK, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, no.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any lower than stealing from the Royal British Legion, going into a church and stealing.
It's pretty tight, isn't it?
It's awful.
Pretty tight. Well, let's see what happens. 08459 455 555. Been asking. I love this. What have you been put in, or what have you put someone in? Well, Adrian says, I got a friend stuck in a dumb waiter once. Hilarious and terrifying at the same time. Dumb waiters are a dying breed, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'd love a dumb waiter.
I've always fancied a little ride in one of those.
Oh, man. Dean says I put someone in a locker once and didn't let him out until lunchtime.
Oh, no.
Also, what have you put somebody in? Thomas says, serious trouble, fits of giggles. Oh, here we go. A corner, a compromising position, and in their place. I see what he's done there.
Oh. An intellectual.
Let's go to Robbie in Watford. Good morning, Robbie.
Morning, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, boss. What have you put someone in, or what have you been put in?
Well, I was about two and a half, and my brother's about 2.5 years older than me. And when I was born, he got, like, ridiculously jealous, probably because I was more attractive and all that sort of stuff.
Gosh.
And so he...
was he an ugly boy?
He was and still is.
He's an ugly man now. Are you still good looking, or have you...
Well, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but yeah. So yeah, we used to live in a little cottage by the seaside with my mum, and he one day just decided to pull me out of the living room and try and shove me through a cat flap. And yeah, he laughed as well. And I was quite a heavy set kid.
Good looking, but lardy.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Bonnie baby.
Yeah, I enjoyed my porridge.
Yeah.
So I got stuck. He managed to get my head and my right arm through. So I was doing some sort of Superman pose, but he got the left shoulder stuck. And then instead of trying to kind of pull me out by my legs or pull me out with my hand, he then just repeatedly kind of kicked me.
He kicked him!
And just kept giving me kind of this shove with the bottom of his shoe through the door. And then when I obviously started crying, so my mum came running, only to see me, and from all accounts burst out laughing, and then went and got the camera, then came back with a camera, and it wasn't like, this was like, I mean, I'm 26 now, so what was that, 24 years ago?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was a quick point and shoot thing. It was like...
She had to set it all up, get the light right and everything.
Just take it to the chemist after?
Yeah.
And have
cloth over the head, all that sort of stuff. And it was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And, yeah.
But it's not affected you, has it, Robbie?
No, not at all. I mean, I just avoid cat flaps.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. We'll have that in the podcast. And that's reminded me of something. I once received a photo on my telephone from Catherine Boyle.
My daughter stuck down the toilet. All you could see was the top of her head and her feet.
Her bum fell down the toilet because those toilet seats are too big for little bottoms.
And she's a right.
Even to adults.
She's a right skinny mulling.
Has it
So she
happened to
went
you?
down the U-bend.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
Top of the head and just the toes. That's all you could see.
And she's going. And you had to go and get your phone and take a picture of it.
Wow.
Unbelievable. What bad parenting. What have you been stuck in, please? Toilets are the hip thing at the moment.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 clockwise is at a standstill between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield. It's because of an accident in lane 1. On the A1M southbound, it's very heavy between junction 3 for St Albans and 2 for Welham Green. But on the M1 towards London, the earlier fire between junction 9 for Redbourne and 7 for Hemel Hempstead has now been moved away, and things are moving well through there again. In Hemel Hempstead, looking at the A41 southbound on the speed sensors, it's very slow between Two Waters Road and the M25 junction 20 for Kings Langley. And in Royston on the A10 Melbourne Road, it's building up now around King James's Way at the roundabout by the Town Hall. Having a look at the trains, no reports of any problems there at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Samantha. So, what have you put somebody in? What have you been put in, dead or alive? Would you ever eat a cat? Oh, and there's loads more stuff. We'll tell you what after the news.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's
It's 8 o'clock with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. Bucks County Council admits it was aware of risks to children ahead of inspection. 25-year-old cricketer dies after being hit by a cricket ball. And help to be given to first-time buyers in Hertfordshire.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. Its emerged Chief Executive Chris Williams received a letter from the then Children's Services boss Sue Imbriano in January, 6 months before the inspection. She told Iain this morning that she had a duty to write the letter, which warned the council would be likely to fail an Ofsted inspection.
As Director of Children's Services, I had a professional responsibility to ensure that the council was aware of issues in relation to children's safeguarding and, of course, a moral imperative to raise concern.
The Australian cricketer Phil Hughes has died in a hospital in Sydney 2 days after being struck on the head by the ball while batting. He was 25. He had been put in an induced coma after emergency surgery to relieve pressure on his brain but never regained consciousness. The head of Cricket Australia, James Sutherland, said the accident was a tragedy and the impact of it was enormous.
It's an understatement to say that we are completely devastated. Philip was a cherished son, brother, friend and teammate. As a cricketer, Philip was incredibly talented and dearly loved. Without doubt, he was a rising star whose best cricket was still ahead of him.
First-time buyers are getting extra help onto the housing ladder from Hertfordshire County Council as part of a mortgage scheme. Most first-time buyers in the county are families looking for 2 or more bedroom homes, according to the local authority, which has increased the maximum loan size by £60,000 to £250,000. Joe Morris from Redbourne sought the local authority's help to get onto the property ladder along with her family.
Well, we'd been looking at various schemes at the time when we were looking to move. We were privately renting and we were trying to get a mortgage and just realised it wasn't going to happen because we just didn't have a big enough deposit. And I saw the scheme mentioned on the Hearts Direct website and looked into it and it seemed just like a really good deal.
There's a call for a public inquiry into sex abuse allegations at the Yarlswood Immigration Centre in Bedfordshire. Last year, 3 members of staff were sacked after a detainee claimed to be the victim of abuse. Serco will continue to run the centre after its £70 million contract was renewed, something questioned by Labour MP Carl Turner.
There are questions around its handling of Jarl's Wood and allegations of serious abuse and sexual violence. Does he not agree that a full independent inquiry into these allegations should have been carried out before his Home Secretary signed off on that contract?
The body which advises the NHS in England is calling for thousands more people with type 2 diabetes to be offered weight loss surgery. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence says increasing the number of procedures such as gastric bypass operations would save money for the NHS in the long term. In sport, Liverpool have put qualification for the Champions League knockout stages in their own hands despite conceding a late equaliser and drawing 2-2 against Bulgarian champions Ludogorets. Meanwhile, Arsenal have qualified for the Champions League knockout stage following a 2-0 win over Borussia Dortmund. And the weather forecast, it will be cloudy and misty today with some rain around too, highs of 10 Celsius, that's 50 in Fahrenheit. BBC Three Counties Radio News. I'm back with headlines at 8:30.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With the big phone in, the hottest topic of the day and your consumer problems. From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Multi-platinum recording artist Michael Ball talks to me about his new album.
From 3.
Roberto Perroni.
I'm here with a roundup of the day's news, the latest travel and your stories.
From 7.
Mark Forrest.
I'll bring you the best bits from everything that's been happening on BBC Local Radio.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Steal some coffee! Steal some coffee! We've got another stash of coffee somewhere in this building. I know it. Have you checked in Kath's drawer? Check in her drawer. about coffee, and we're all climbing the walls here like lunatics. Lunatics. Lots on the show this morning. What have you put somebody in? What have you been putting yourself? What have the big kids done to you? Would you ever eat cat?
And chubby hobbies, yes or no?
08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Apparently, Kath has some emergency coffee. Oh.
Wee, she's got a sachet of coffee.
Wow, somebody's been stealing from a hotel. Wait, hang on. So Iain, you'll have that. Kath, what will you have?
I'll have this. What are you going to have, Kels?
Oh, I've got actual tea bags.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because I have tea.
Oh, okay.
That's sorted then.
Yeah.
And I asked you if you want tea.
Right.
And you said no.
I tell you what, young lady,
Yeah.
less of the lip, more of the nip.
hip.
The hip, that's the one. Nip it in the bud is what I'm talking about.
Good.
Less
I
of
will.
the. All right, less of the. No, less of the shrink, more of the drink. Less of the.
Kath, has Iain ever made you a drink?
I make her a drink every flipping morning.
Oh.
Every morning.
That's only so I can go in the kitchen and find out if there's any cake or sweets.
Correcto mundo. I made you a drink once, Kelly. Do you remember when I first started here?
No.
Oh. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. It's emerged that Chief Executive Chris Williams received a letter from the then Head of Children's Services, Sue Imbriano, in January, 6 months before the inspection. Well, Labour councillor Robin Stutchbury is on the Children's Services Select Committee and joins me now. Morning, Robin.
Good morning, sir. How are you
Yeah,
today?
I'm good, thank you very much, although we're running short on coffee, so things are not
No,
as
I'm
great as they
not.
could
I've
be.
got about 5 jars
Oh,
here.
shame on you. This letter that's emerged, what do you make of it, Robin?
Well, it's two ways of looking at this. How do internal communications take place? Is this a normal internal communications, and should this have been flagged up to the then Cabinet member, Angela McPherson, upon the receipt of the letter? Now, I'm not sure what the processes are in the council, being as I'm obviously a new councillor. I've been at a council for 12 months. But it would seem logical that if you were the chief executive and you'd received a letter from your senior director wishing to flag up these elements, of which it does say in the letter they were working on, so they were evidently aware of these issues, and they did answer questions around children's services in that whole time. Angela McPherson, Sue Imbriano, they were both answering questions about the fact that there was a shortage of governors, of social workers, there was a shortage of whatever, and they were working to try and address that matter, and it was of great concern to them. So I don't think either one of them were pretending to be hiding anything. I think they were trying to be open, but the reality is, with large political groups on a council, as we've only too evidently read, if you ever took the time to read the Rovland report, it points out to the fact that scrutiny in large political groups of council, when there's such a large, overwhelming control of one section of the council, needs to be stiffened up in this country. Now, it could be that this is a simple process that Mr. Williams felt that he'd answered her questions and whatever. But my feeling is, having been a member of a select committee, that I should see this letter, and at the very least this should have gone to the Cabinet member for responsibility, so that she was aware of the then Director of Children's Services concerns.
So do you think that Mr. Williams maybe didn't quite fulfil all of his obligations?
Well, that would... It depends what his legal obligations are. And
He says that in his statement, and we may be speaking tomorrow, he says it wasn't a statutory letter. What does that mean? Do you know? Does that mean that there is no compulsion to act?
Well, being as it's a statutory of actions of the council, what he probably means is it wasn't a statutory letter of... it was an internal letter.
Right.
An internal letter, a statutory letter, these are words, aren't they? What I want to be, I don't want to go around pointing fingers saying Conservatives are terrible, Labour are terrible, whatever. I'm not really interested in that, to be frankly honest. When you deal with children's services, you should have a crystal clear glass so that you can see all the way through where everything's going. So there's no wood. You just see through and you try and do it, because what this points to, in my view, is that the historic cultures of internal officers communications, and if the fact that I read the response from Mr. Tett, who said that he'd never seen the letter. Much as me and Mr. Tett can have some fun with each other, I don't think the man's a fool. And if he had seen the letter, he would have acted on it, I believe. I think he's genuine in that. We have committed resources to it. Things are moving forward. We've got a new director of services, Mr. David Johnson, who seems a very sharp man, and Mr. Boyd has taken over. And we've lost a director of children's services for 8 years. You don't do a job for 8 years and not know what you're doing. So we've got to sharpen our act up, actually, in scrutiny and ask more indicative questions, it appears.
Robin, very quickly, because it did get that this letter was sent, and Ofsted did give it a terrible report. Just briefly, to put people's minds at ease, have things improved significantly in children's services? Are you happy?
I'm happy that the processes are started to be put in place. There are resources being committed to this project of improving children's services. My only concern is how much of it goes into the core budget, which means the budget that goes on from year to year, and how much of it is a reaction to a situation. That can only be expressed by the full exploration of the council's interest during its budgetary process. If the council's put this additional £1.2 million into the core budget, which means it'll be there next year and the year after, that is a serious commitment. If we're just going to put a plaster over this and hope that it's all okay, employ a few more people and march on to the next problem, social workers in this country are underpaid. They aren't receiving what they need because it's supply and demand, and that's one of the issues. And councils up and down the country are not addressing the fact that the rate to be a social worker has risen. If they were bankers, they'd just say we need to demand the rate for the job, wouldn't they?
Robin, nice to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. That's Councillor Robin Stutchbury. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Janet, we'll come to you in a second. I know that Catherine Boyle has got some texts that she wants to...
I have.
...to read out with her voice from up north.
Yes, apparently the poppy pilfering...
The poppy what?
...is not restricted to churches.
Oh, go on. We had two collection boxes were stolen from various churches. Could have been £400-500 in there. We spoke to a gentleman who works on the what is it? The British Legion.
Yeah,
and was
incandescent with rage.
Furious, wasn't he? Rightfully
but also
so.
really upset that someone would do that.
Yep.
We've also had a missive from the Deputy Poppy Appeal organiser.
Oh, hello.
Just to let you know that 2 Poppy Appeal collecting tins were also stolen from public houses in Harpenden.
Hey.
I mean, pubs, you kind of... Not that you expect it, but I'm less surprised by that. But a church... There we go. And we've also got some answers to the chubby hubby questions. Well,
this is a thing in that we never really pursued this. Is there a thing in the Mail today saying why chubby hubbies are sexy?
Some women are actually feeding their husbands up because they like them a little bit more.
Yep.
Chubby hubby, no, says Mary from Milton Keynes. I've always said I wouldn't go out with a guy who has a bigger bum than mine.
Wowzers.
I think that's a good rule.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good
Should
rule.
we go to Janet? It's not all about you,
Yes.
Morning, Janet.
Good morning.
It's not all about Catherine, is it?
Well, sometimes a lady likes it to be all about her.
Doesn't she just? Well, she ain't no lady. That's my producer.
Oh.
What have you got for us, Janet? What have you been put in, or what have you put someone in?
Well, in chronological order, when I was about 5, my sister buried me on the sands at Boscombe Beach.
Wowzers. When you say buried, I mean, I'm assuming your face was exposed.
Yes,
Good.
and it wasn't for terribly long, though it felt like it at the time.
Was it terrifying?
I don't really remember it as being terrifying.
She's blocked it out.
I was being really a brat. She was digging holes in the sand with my cousin, who would be about sort of 10 and 11, and I was 5. And every time they dug a hole, I jumped in it.
Yeah.
So they were moving further and further away from my mother and aunt, which is slightly relevant.
Yeah.
So when we got a bit further down the beach, I jumped in the hole. They just went shovel, 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 buried me up to my armpit.
Sounds like you deserved it, Janet.
I did.
Yep.
Basically, I did. And then they ran off, and another gentleman with his family in a deck chair came over and pulled me out.
That is brilliant. They abandoned you.
Yes, and then I could see my mother running down the beach at this stage. I think my sister had gone back. Where's Janet?
Well, that's also ties in with what have the bigger kids done to you? Aren't children vicious, horrible thugs? I'll include mine in that.
She has improved.
Well, when was the last time she put you in something?
I think that was the last time.
Okay. Anything else, Janet, before we move on?
Yes, I was put in a cardboard box by my boss. We had a large collection of some sort of promotional material.
Yes.
And it was left outside the office in Borough High Street.
Yeah.
And I'm 5 foot, and I could just about see over the top of the box. So it was a large box. And we opened the box and started taking things out.
Yeah.
And when we got to a certain level, even he couldn't reach, so he just picked me up and put me in the box. So I had to hand stuff out.
Oh, and did he help you get out?
After he stopped laughing.
Thank you very much, Janet. Do you remember, that's excellent call, by the way. Excellent. Have we spoken to Janet before?
No, but we will again.
Good.
I can
That was
feel
brilliant.
it.
Do you remember we had a call from was it here, a wee lady who fell into a bin?
Yes.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 anti-clockwise, there's a lane closed between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield because of an accident. That's causing some queues around there. On the M1 southbound, it's still very slow between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and 7 for Hemel Hempstead after the vehicle fire there earlier on around junction 9. In Club Hill on the A507, it's very slow in both directions around the A6 at Bedford Road. And on the A1 southbound, it's looking very slow on the speed sensors around the Black Cat roundabout from the Kimbleton turnoff through all the roadworks that are in place there. Having a look at the CCTV cameras in High Wycombe, and Marlow Hill's looking very busy at the moment, and in Amersham, Gore Hill's looking heavy between the A413 and the A40 London Road. On the trains, there's no reports of any problems at the moment. Samantha Braff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 8:17. It's Thursday, the 27th of November. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. And the Australian cricketer Phil Hughes has died in a hospital in Sydney 2 days after being struck on the head by the ball while batting.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Cathedral. That's a very wicked laugh there.
Isn't it?
Isn't it just?
Are you all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm hungry, man. I'm really hungry. And I've got the kids all day today, and I can't be bothered.
I'm ashamed of myself.
Oh.
Deeply ashamed.
What have you done?
I feel as if I've let myself down.
Again?
I've put my Christmas tree up.
It's not December, mate.
I know.
So why have you done that?
I've always felt, and I still stand by this, if you put your Christmas tree up any earlier than 2 weeks before Christmas, you're as common as muck. My Christmas tree is up in November. I'm ashamed of myself.
Why have you done that?
Well, truth be told,
I'm speechless.
I bought a new Christmas tree. I've always had real Christmas trees. This year I thought, can't be bothered. With the puppy, I thought I can't be bothered.
No.
So I bought one.
Oh, you're so common.
And when I got it home, I thought, I wonder how you put this thing together. So I thought it was probably quite quick and easy. Well, it wasn't. It took ages to put it together. And by the time I put it together, I thought, well, now put it together. I'm not going to undo it all and put it away again for a few weeks.
So I sat back with your can of Stella and looked at it.
So I thought, well, I might as well decorate it now.
Oh, for crying out loud.
So I decorated it. It's got the lights on. Do you want to see it?
I mean,
do you want to see it? I have not got my phone.
That's a shame.
Oh.
So why don't you show me in 2 or 3 weeks' time, yeah?
I'm really ashamed of myself.
You should be.
It's common.
Well, the thing is, because you like to have an air of being posh, but you are filth.
You'll be telling me you've used tinsel next.
No, there's no let's not be silly. I haven't sunk quite to those depths.
Okay. Rainbow lights?
But even so, I mean, I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
How awful. I've got my Christmas tree up. How naff.
What will your neighbours think?
I hope they don't see it. I won't put the lights on. I'll keep the lights off.
And the curtains drawn.
Exactly. How awful.
Probably best you tell us what's on your show and leave.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I feel as if I've let everyone down.
Certainly have.
Coming up on the big phone in this morning at 9, do you think your local police are doing a good job? At 9:30 this morning, the government body who monitor the police will publish a report showing how good our local police are at tackling crime and protecting the public. To compile this brand new report, Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary has assessed how well our forces cut crime, protect the vulnerable, tackle antisocial behaviour, and how effectively they respond to emergency calls. The report will also reveal whether the police provide a service which is fair and treats people properly, and to what extent they provide good value for money. These new Peel assessments have been designed to give you and me an insight into how well our local police are doing their job. Well, this morning from 9, I'd like your reaction to this. How do you think your local police are doing? Are they doing a good job? Or have you been left very disappointed? I'd like your experiences, your views on 08459 455 555. We can't reveal the details of this report until 9:30.
It's unbongoed, isn't it?
It is unbongoed, but there's some very, very interesting findings, particularly for one local police force, but we'll tell you more after 9:30.
It's funny because we got sent this, I think yesterday, maybe even... No, we got sent this Wednesday, which was yesterday, yes. And I never quite understand the embargo practice and why it's done, and I don't understand it. There's some silly reason for it. But yes, one local police force. Well, it'd be very interesting to hear you reveal the news.
Exactly. 9:30, but we'll have the phone in from 9 this morning. I'd like your experience. Do you think your local police are doing a good job?
You give the phone number out? Or that's not how it normally... That's the routine we've done for the past 2 years.
08459 455 555.
You've changed.
iPlayer the taxi journey when the weather chat has dried up after 5 minutes. iPlayer your other half's really bad taste in TV. iPlayer the first chance you've had to sit down since that customer. An iPlayer ending up in the wrong queue at the supermarket every single time. BBC iPlayer. BBC Radio and TV, always there when you need it.
Tonight!
Sorry, what's going on there?
Bit of Smiths.
We were just singing.
What are we asking? Let's...
We are asking, chubby hubby, yes or no? And I've had 2 more responses.
Go on.
From the chubs in question, by the sounds of things.
Let's get this is in the female section.
Yeah.
The ladies.
Women boasting about how chunky their men are and how they love them that way. If you've had a hubby who's gone fat to thin, or vice versa, which way did you prefer?
Hang on, let me find it.
We've got a deal in our relationship.
Yeah.
Not me and Kath, me and my fella.
We've also got a deal, but that's not...
that's a different one. If he gets bald and ugly, I'll get fat. But if I get fat, he'll leave.
There's nothing sexier than a chubby hubby. As it's revealed, 1 in 4 of us find 6-packs a turn-off.
What?
And no one likes
soldier on.
Meet... Oh, dear.
I'll manage.
Ready? Meet the super slim wives who insist there's nothing sexier than a chubby hubby. Cancel that gym membership, chaps, and pour yourself a beer. Women prefer a man with love handles than a 6-pack. Statistics recently revealed 3 out of 4 of us find the thought of a chiselled lover a turn off. Good. We would feel... We, womankind, would feel too self-conscious to undress in front of a perfect man. Don't be embarrassed, girls.
I think I'd be all right.
Don't be embarrassed. Here, Amir O'Hagan meets 3 petite women who prefer to cuddle up to their chubby partners.
Well, they say that.
Anne Brewer, 53, an artist, and her husband and fatty, Clive, 54, an IT consultant, live in London. She says, sometimes when I'm walking down the street with Clive, he looks like Nick Ferrari, by the way, if you're trying to imagine him.
I don't know anything about their relationship, but as they've put it on public display, she's an artist, he's an IT consultant. That's a constant stream of cash. She's not going to turn that down.
I catch sight of our reflection in a shop window. It's only then that I see us as others must. A petite woman alongside this enormous man. He's 6'3" and 22 stone.
She likes
security.
She likes being the trophy.
Yeah, being the attractive one.
I'm attractive, weigh 8 stone, I'm size 8. But I couldn't give a fig about the disparity between our physical shapes. What I see is a lovely hunk of a man whose arm snuggles around me perfectly and whose hug makes me feel protected, adored and feminine.
Oh.
Well, then the other fellas aren't that big.
No, I don't think they are.
I adore his man boobs and love his love handles. I show my love by piling up his plate with food. The others aren't that big. It's the first one. Shobna Fendlin and her fella Curtis and Emma Haynes and her husband Rick.
I think Dan in Watford gets straight to the heart of this one.
Go on.
He says, my fiancé feeds me so much, she says that no one else will want me.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that.
Here's another one. John from Datchworth, and I don't really know what he means, but I think it might be rude. Ian, my wife says she's happy with the chubby hubby. As she thinker, you need a bigger hammer with a little nail. John from Datchworth.
I actually don't get that, but do you know what? I'm not going to pursue it any further.
Yeah.
Colin's in Dunstable. Morning, Col.
Morning, folks.
Wow, Colin's got a catchphrase. I like that. Try it again.
Morning, folks.
I know what we'll do. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can make this into a performance. Let's hear your catchphrase again.
Morning, folks. Morning, folks. Morning, folks.
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on, you've got to wait there. Hang on.
Oh, you cocked it up.
Hang on, I've not cocked anything up. Right, hang on. Right, try again.
Morning, folks.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka.
Morning, folks. Morning, folks.
I'm being eaten by a boring tractor.
Morning, folks.
Oh, yeah!
Morning, folks.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
Morning,
I think it's probably best we end it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, do it one more time.
Morning, folks.
All together now.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
That's a nice one. I like that.
Yeah, that's nice.
We don't need Colin now because I've clipped him.
Yeah, OK, thanks for calling, Colin.
Morning. Do you not want to hear why I rang up?
Oh, yeah, go on, I suppose so. We ought to. It's only polite.
I was working
as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
No.
Where reggae met you.
As a night duty telephonist at
I was working as a night duty telephonist.
And they put me in the confidential waste bin. And I couldn't get out.
Oh, because you're only wee, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, baby boy.
He is quite confidential as well.
Isn't he, just?
Very.
And he's very
yeah.
wasteful.
He's very...
Isn't there a film about that, Confidential? Something Confidential?
LA Confidential. I don't think it's
it.
about a midget being chucked in a waste bin.
No.
But it would be great if it was.
Wouldn't it just? Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
08459 455. I tell you, why don't you do your catchphrase one more time?
Morning, folks.
All together now.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 clockwise, there's a lane closed between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield. That's because of an accident and it's causing some queues there on the M25. On the A1M northbound, it's looking very heavy on the speed sensors at junction 6 for Welling Garden City at the moment. Having a look elsewhere on the CCTV in Stevenage, Hitchin Road's looking very heavy in both directions around Corey's Mill Lane, and in Watford on Lower High Street, it's looking very heavy at Eastbury Road around the Bushy Arches. On the A1 southbound, it's very slow between the Kimbleton turn-up and the Black Cat roundabout through those roadworks, and on the trains there are some delays between Cheshunt and Liverpool Street because of a signalling problem affecting all West Anglia services via Hackney Downs. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's It's 8:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. 6 months before the inspection, the current chief executive received a letter from the then Children's Services boss, Sue Imbriano, warning the authority would fail. The Australian cricketer hit on the head by a ball during a match in Sydney 2 days ago has died. Doctors say Phil Hughes, who was 25 and considered to be one of the country's rising stars, had never regained consciousness. A mortgage scheme to help more first-time buyers get onto the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. The authority has raised the maximum loan size to £250,000 to allow buyers to afford larger homes. And the weather, a cloudy and misty day ahead with some rain and patchy fog this morning. Highs today of just 10 Celsius. That's 50 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off in football, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger says he is proud of the fact that the club have qualified for the knockout stages of the Champions League for the 15th successive season. They reached the milestone with a 2-0 win over Borussia Dortmund at the Emirates, and Wenger says it is a big achievement.
When you work in a football club, you will realise that it's not easy to have a continuity and to be consistent, and I'm very proud of that. I think as well the club deserves a lot of credit for that. It's not enough because we want more than that, but we are consistent.
Liverpool have put qualification for the Champions League knockout stages in their own hands despite conceding a late equaliser and drawing 2-2 against Bulgarian champions Ludogorets. In the Europa League tonight, Tottenham face Partizan Belgrade at 8:05. Also at 8:05, Celtic host FC Red Bull Salzburg, and Everton are at Wolfsburg with the earlier kick-off at 6 o'clock. A win or a draw will guarantee Everton a place in the knockout round, while Tottenham will also progress with a win. Midfielder Adeline Guadiara has signed for Watford on loan until January. The Algerian international has moved from Crystal Palace, where he has featured 4 times in the Premier League this season. Meanwhile, Watford striker Uche Ikpeazu will spend a second loan spell with Crewe Alexandra. In rugby, England head coach Stuart Lancaster names his side that will face Australia at Twickenham later today. George Ford is expected to retain his place at fly half following an impressive display in the win over Samoa last weekend. And at the UK Snooker Championship, the world champion Mark Selby is through to the second round at the York Barbican. He beat Oliver Brown 6-0 last night. This afternoon, Ronnie O'Sullivan, who has twisted his left ankle, says he'll play through the pain barrier when he faces Wales's Daniel Wells in the first round. That's at 2:30. Tonight, the defending champion Neil Robertson plays Joe O'Connor. BBC Three Counties Radio News. I'm back with a full bulletin at 9 o'clock.
Morning, folks.
All together now.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
Were you singing along, Just?
I will be come December the 1st, which of course is Monday. A little bit too early for me. In saying that, my tree is up.
Mate, well, hang on a minute. Right, OK. So you're a deviant like Jonathan Vernon Smith, OK?
Yeah.
You both have your tree up, yet you're saying it's too early to wish our listeners a reggae Christmas.
Well, never too early to wish a reggae Christmas.
Well,
That's
then,
slightly unusual,
well,
that
then
tune.
Will you join us?
I'll join you then,
Morning,
yeah, OK.
Folks.
Here we go. Well, actually, Justin on his own. Here we go, Just.
We wish you a reggae Christmas, wagwan. We wish you a reggae Christmas, wagwan. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a happy New Year.
No, mate, no.
We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Should we go again?
Yeah, okay.
Here we go.
Morning, folks.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
There we go. Beautiful.
Thank you.
See, never too early to wish the listeners a reggae Christmas. What are we talking? We've got like this quick recap, quick setup of the stall, and then we'll get to where you're going. What have you been put in, or what have you put somebody in, dead or alive? Sorry?
Nothing. I've been out. I missed that phone in.
Oh, did you?
What a shame. I missed that.
We've had some good stuff. We've had cat flaps. We've had confidential waste bins, boxes. We've had lots of stuff.
Yeah.
What else are we doing, Kath? I can't remember.
Chubby hobbies, yes or no?
Yeah. What have the big kids done to you? Would you ever eat a cat? Loads of people saying yes, but they're too scared to phone in because of they're afraid of attacks from animal rights groups like the Justin Dealey Cat Foundation. And Dealey, what did we send you out on so many hours ago?
We sent me out on cats earlier on. Has anybody phoned in, by the way, who's actually eaten cat?
Oh.
Not that, not that they've admitted to, although I suspect that Colin has probably done lots of things with cats.
Yeah, in Switzerland, hopefully that petition will take up a bit more and they will stop eating cats for Christmas. But you sent me out about a story in Watford. This is a school, it's the Chater Infant School.
Yeah, great school.
And there was a grey squirrel there.
Morning, Chater Infant School pupils and
Morning,
mums
guys.
and dads and teachers.
And the head teacher, by the way, we did phone you yesterday. Hopefully you might come on the show at some point. So, this grey squirrel was in the playground there, and the children had to be evacuated back into the school because this grey squirrel was terrifying the pupils.
This is what no one has mentioned. Grey squirrels. They're not British. They come over here.
Americans.
They are Americans. They come over here. They murdered the indigenous red squirrel.
Poor Nutkin.
Poor Nutkin. How are we supposed to know how to cross the road now, Tufty? We don't, because Tufty's dead thanks to those foreign squirrels. Then they terrorise our children. They've terrorised our indigenous squirrels out of work, and now they're terrorising our children.
They slashed up a dinner lady, didn't they?
They did, didn't they?
This is nuts.
Very good.
You've been squirreling that one away all morning. I don't really like puns. So, Justin.
Yeah. I've taken to the streets. You asked me earlier on to go out and ask people about animal attacks because of this grey squirrel in Watford terrorising the children. I've got a few stories. First of all, I was not accepting attacks by cats or dogs because we know about those, don't we? So I wasn't accepting those.
Wow.
And just to warn listeners, at the end of this piece, it gets very, very dark. All right? So
you've done that a lot recently. A lot of your packages have taken dark twists.
I don't know why. It must be something in the air. So, here's what happened when I took this to the streets asking people, have you ever been attacked by an animal?
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
Craig, when animals attack, tell us your story.
I was in British Columbia in Kelowna, staying on a farm, and when I got up in the morning I found a skunk inside the house. So it left at the leg but didn't puncture any flesh, and I kicked it out of the way.
Wow. Now that odour, that famous odour, I've heard it talked about, I never experienced it. How bad is it when you come face to face with that?
It's pungent. Takes your breath away.
Is it the worst smell you've ever had to encounter?
That's right, yes, it is.
What's your advice to anybody who comes into contact with a skunk?
Run away. Don't face up to it.
Just get out of the area and quick.
That's right, yes.
Thank you very much. Fascinating story.
Thank you.
So you've been, how can I put this? You've been dumped on from above by a pigeon. I would class that as an attack. How did it make you feel?
Not too good. Took me a while to get it out. I had to go to the thing, it come down in my shirt as well, so I had to go home and have a shower and that.
Made you feel quite angry, quite frustrated?
Oh, yeah, quite peeved.
So you got attacked by a pigeon, and you then killed the pigeon?
Yeah, the kill.
It's pretty sick though, isn't it?
Yeah.
To kill a pigeon just because he attacked you?
Yeah, it's kill.
I'm going to get out of here. I don't know how you sleep at night. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Wow.
There you go.
Dark stories there.
Twist.
The skunk thing, no wonder that cat that gets paint spilt on its back in the Pepe Le Pew cartoons is always so keen to get away from Pepe Le Pew? A, because they're both male, and B, because of the stench of skunk.
I've got a tip for you, though. If you are roused by a skunk, ketchup.
Oh?
Ketchup takes the smell away, apparently.
Oh, really?
Take my smell away.
With Tommy K.
Well, work in Scotland, of course, they prefer browns.
Yes, they prefer the brown. Well, Justin, that was absolutely great stuff.
Thank you.
Anything else to say, or should we let you go?
No, I can go now.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have you gone? Hello? Hello? He's gone. Joanna's entering. Good morning, Joanna.
Hello, Ian.
It's the last hour been a load of old nonsense, but I'm enjoying it. What have you got for us?
Well, I've got a squirrel attack story for you, actually.
Oh, because this all started because of this primary school where the kids were ushered in because there was an aggressive squirrel trying to attack them. And we thought it was a one-off, but this has happened to you, is it?
No, this is not a one-off. Believe you me, they are like demon animals.
Wow, go on.
Well, I was about 9 years old.
Yeah.
Walking down the street one day, saw a squirrel, so I'm going to say it was part of my fault. Bent down to sort of pet said squirrel.
Oh, mate.
Never pet a squirrel.
Never pet a squirrel.
I know.
You know that now, don't you? I don't need to tell you that, yeah.
Well, it jumped onto me. It ran all... And I have got loads of scars all over me.
It ran... Sorry, your phone dropped out, Joanna. It jumped onto you and did what?
It ran all over me.
Now, when you say all over you...
On my back, on my chest, my arms. It was like in a frenzied attack. It was horrible.
And so you could feel its claws?
I could feel its teeth.
It was running around biting you?
Yeah, I've got loads of scars all over me from it.
How long ago was this?
When I was 9 years old, that was 25 years ago.
Flipping heck, so you're 52 years old and you've still... Sorry.
I've still got the scars on my arms and my chest and my back and everything from it.
And
I had to literally rip the thing off of me. I stared it in the face and then threw it in the road. You're like, run home to mum. You're like, I've been bit by a squirrel.
Blimey, did you not...
Had to have a tetanus.
Oh, God, I bet you did. And I don't, want to go into too many intimate details, but at various points you will have undressed in front of partners, I'm assuming. How do you explain that in a moment of intimacy? Joanna? Hello?
Hello?
Are you crying? I'm sorry if I brought up painful memories.
You did a little bit, I've got to say. No one wants to see me naked, bless.
Oh.
No, I just had to tell them the truth, really.
Oh, Joanna, thank you very much. I genuinely thought I'd offended her there.
She was taken aback. I think that was that noise.
Well, sometimes... You've got to ask the questions that no one
You
else
weren't there, man. You didn't see it.
No, it's like joking to a Vietnam veteran about some of the horrors that they saw in Ho Chi Minh City. Joanne, I apologise if in any way you felt that call was flippant. If you've been affected by any of the issues in today's show, then there's probably a hotline you can call somewhere.
Squirrels, eh?
Flipping it, they are little... but you don't see... Are there any red squirrels in this country anymore?
Yes.
Where?
And there are black ones in Letchworth.
Oh, they're... Well, yeah.
So... Yes.
I don't know where the black ones are from.
I think they're... I don't know. I think they're a mutation.
But the red ones... Because you don't see... Because when I was a kid, we used to go for a little drive before school sometimes to Burnham Beaches, guys.
Where's that?
Well, it's near where I used to live. There's not a beach, it's beach trees. It's so disappointing. Every time it's about the age of 11. But we go and see the red squirrels.
What happens...
Hello?
...if a red squirrel does it with a grey squirrel?
Well, they can't. That's like a cat doing it with a dog.
Yeah, what happens?
And we all know that dogs are men and cats are ladies.
Really it's not like that.
Well, it is.
Because...
They're all squirrels.
What colour would it make?
I'm going to say grey.
Red and grey.
I'm going to say...
brown.
I'm going to say gred.
Gred.
Did make gred.
That's not the colour, mate.
It is.
Mate.
Imagine if... This is the thing, scientists. Forget, doing surveys and forget diseases. When are they going to get some new colours? Imagine they said, by the way, they come out and they say, this is amazing, right? We've found a new colour. It's kind of in between green and yellow on the spectrum.
Grello.
Well, imagine that. Imagine what
invented it in my head.
But imagine what a new colour would look like. You can't.
No. Why don't birds interbreed?
Because it doesn't work like that.
Because a sparrow knows it's a sparrow. It's not going to mess around with, I don't know, a wren.
It doesn't work like that.
But they're all birds.
Yeah, well, yeah,
But dogs don't mind, do they?
Oh, dogs will do it with anything because they're dog. That's where
Cats
the phrase
don't mind.
That's where the phrase "dirty dog" comes from. But birds can't interbreed. The bits don't fit.
Donkeys and horses, they don't mind.
It's like trying to load a Spectrum game on a BBC computer. It just will not work.
Oh, right, you need an adapter.
Chris is in Hitchin. Good morning, Chris.
Hi, Ian.
Have you got any adapters on you?
Any adapters on me? What, mains adapters?
I'll tell you what, forget it.
I missed that bit. I was turning the radio off.
Don't worry, Chris. What have you got for us?
Bitten by a squirrel, Centre Park, and there, surrounded by countryside and nature.
Yeah.
We book into our villa. The kids were there for 10 minutes. A little squirrel appears on the patio.
Oh,
outside.
beautiful.
Daddy, a squirrel. Look. Okay, so we get something to feed it with, a nut or something.
Yeah.
And this thing...
Where did you find a nut?
We just checked in. We had all our food with us and everything.
Oh, so you bring nuts with you when you go on holiday?
Well, it was just a whole pack.
No, that's all right, Chris. There's nothing suspicious about a man bringing nuts with him when
Very
he checks
healthy,
into Centre Park.
Nutrition rich.
OK, so you got these nuts out that you just happen to have.
It might not have been. It might have been a piece of ham, actually. But it's such
What,
a
you
long
fed
time
a squirrel
ago.
some meat?
Are you insane?
Well, this thing got hold of my finger and would not let go. It was like it jumped up and it was through to the bone, to the nail, and I was flicking it, and the kids were screaming.
What were you flicking? Were you flicking your nuts or were you flicking the squirrel?
Oh, don't go there.
No.
I was flicking the squirrel, dangling from the edge of my finger, and it would not let go. And
It's kind of your own fault. You made it a carnivore. You made it want flesh.
Yeah.
Chris, what did you do? Did you? Because I've got an image of you kind of slapping it against a table. Did you do that?
I just kept shaking my hand until it let go and it ran off.
And the kids were upset, were they?
Well, they laughed their heads off. They thought it was amazing.
Thank you, Chris.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 clockwise, there's a lane closed between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield. It's after an accident there in lane 1, and that is closed at the moment. On the M1 southbound, it's very heavy between junction 12 for Flitwick and 7 for Helmore Hempstead, not helped by that vehicle fire earlier on around junction 9. And in Stevenage, having a look at the cameras, Hitchin Road is looking very heavy in both directions around Corey's Mill Lane. In Royston on the A10 Melbourne Road, it's very heavy at the roundabouts by the Town Hall by around King James's Way. And in Ruxton on the Great Barford bypass, it's very heavy at the moment looking at the speed sensors around the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks in place there. In Amersham and Gore Hill, it's looking very heavy between the A413 and the A40 London Road. And on the trains, Abellio Greater Anglia services have delays between Cheshunt and Liverpool Street because of a signalling problem, and it's affecting all trains on the West Anglia branch via Hackney Downs. Samantha Braff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, thank you. Right, 8:47. It's Thursday, the 27th of November. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Buckinghamshire County Council has admitted it was aware of the risks to vulnerable children before a critical Ofsted inspection. And a mortgage scheme to help more first-time buyers get on the property ladder is being extended by Hertfordshire County Council. 08459 455 555. How do we get rid of the scourge of squirrels that are attacking people up and down the country? We'll take your calls on that and more after the weather with Georgina.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello there. We've got a bit of hill fog this morning, but a fairly cloudy day anyway, with lots of drizzle around in places. It is slightly brighter by the afternoon, but not much in the way of blue sky today. And highs of 12 degrees Celsius, though, so slightly warmer. Staying cloudy and drizzly through the night, but still fairly mild, with lows of 8 degrees. And a grey start to the day tomorrow, but it is clearing from the southeast, although more western parts may not see any of the sunny spells because of the sun setting so early. However, it should be brighter in the afternoon anyway, and mainly dry with the winds picking up. Temperatures reaching 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. And it's looking mainly dry over the weekend as well. Fairly cloudy though still, brightening up a little on Saturday, and the winds should ease as well. That's your latest forecast.
We've all got a horror story about a delivery, letter or a parcel.
I waited in all day for it to be delivered, but it never arrived.
I paid for first-class stamps, but it still took 4 days to arrive. What was the point?
And on Monday, we're going to find out why.
The JVS Show.
I'll be joined by John Mayer, the man responsible for Royal Mail across Beds, Herts and Bucks. and you can ask him whatever you want.
Why does the price of stamps keep going up so much?
If you've got a question, email it to jvsshow@bbc.co.uk and we'll get as many of your points put to him as possible. A JVS Show Royal Mail special, Monday from 9, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, folks.
All together now. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year. Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Good morning, and would you like to join us in wishing everybody a reggae Christmas?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Would you like to sing the song, Peter?
No, not particularly.
Oh.
My voice is not as well as good as it used to be.
Well, now, listen, now we know that you've lived after you slept, I think you said, with 15 page 3 girls yesterday. Would you... I think people would love to hear you singing reggae Christmas. So shall I tee it up? You ready, Peter?
No, I can't sing that.
Peter, here we go. Just Peter on his own. Oh, no, gosh, that's not it. Hang on a second. Just Peter on his own, guys. Over to you, Pete.
I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
No. It's a reggae Christmas.
Yeah, well, I did it the English way of doing reggae.
Okay. Just try it now. We wish you a reggae Christmas.
No, I can't do that.
Go on, Peter, just practice it. Just practice.
No. I really can't do that.
Here we go. Just Peter on his own.
Morning, folks.
Here we go. We wish you a reggae Christmas, Pete. Here we go.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So close. It's a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
One more take. That was close enough.
Not for me, it wasn't. One more take, Pete, and then we've got it. 1, 2, 3.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh, it's a reggae Christmas.
No, I don't want to do
the reggae Christmas, Pete, please.
I'm not going to do a reggae Christmas. I'm going to do a traditional Christmas.
I tell you what, do us a favour. Do the reggae Christmas.
Yeah.
Where you go?
I wish you a reggae Christmas. I wish you a reggae Christmas. I wish you a reggae Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I'll buy that one, fella. Well done. You're a good sport, Peter. What do you
I'm just going to say about things that happened when you to you when you was younger.
What?
I fell in a frozen lake many years ago in Chingford. I think it was called Coniston Waters, and my brother came in after me.
Right, first of all, I shouldn't laugh because frozen lakes are very dangerous.
Yeah, my brother came in after me, and we was absolutely saturated. The lads built a fire, hung our clothes up 20 foot up a tree.
20 foot up a tree?
Yeah, up a tree. 2 of them went up and put the clothes up there, my brothers and myself, to dry them out. Big fire underneath. And I said to my brother, well, you could have died.
Yeah.
So he said, if anything had happened to you, my mum would have killed me.
Oh, blimey. two deaths in the family.
That was a sort of situation that Cockney lads used to get themselves in, actually.
Well, Peter, I appreciate the memories, and I wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
And I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you very much indeed. There we go. I don't remember us talking... Was there a phone-in things you did when you were younger?
Cockney Boy Scrapes, call me now.
It's not a bad phone. We'll do that tomorrow, things you did when you were younger. We can do that, can't we?
But you don't do any more. You've grown up.
Dealey can take that out to the streets. Glenn's in Leighton Buzzard. Good morning, Glenn.
Morning, Ian.
Morning, Glenn.
How are you?
Well, I'm wishing everybody a reggae Christmas.
And a reggae Christmas to you.
Thank you very much indeed. Excellent stuff. I can see this is going to... I can see that's annoying everyone for the next month. Go on.
2 things.
Yeah.
I got stuck in a water bus.
You got your butt stuck where?
No, I got stuck inside a water bus.
Have you told us this before?
Oh, yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, go on, tell us it again. It's a great story. Go on, what happened?
Well, the tap was loose. The nut inside the tap was loose, so in order to get in it, I had my son sit on it to make it go oval.
Yeah.
I got in, he tightened up the nut, and then he got off, and then he trapped me.
And so you were stuck head first inside a big water barrel?
Inside a water bus. And the tap was switched off, so there was no oxygen.
And I bet, how old was your boy?
He was 13.
I bet he was loving it, wasn't he?
Oh, he's good. He thought it was fun. He told all his mates.
Did he give you a boot up the bum? Because that's what I would have done.
No.
You want to talk about birds as well, Glenn?
Yes, I do, yeah. Well, you can interbreed certain birds.
Oh.
My dad used to do it years ago.
Yeah.
You can breed a British bird, like a chaffinch or a goldfinch, with a canary, and you call them a mule.
What about a magpie and a chicken?
Right, and then if you bred another British bird...
A chagpie?
Bird,
Do you fancy a chagpie, a chicken and a magpie?
I don't think you can do that.
Why?
Like you said, the bits are different, but on these birds, it's almost the same.
Turkey and a wren? 10.
They're working.
You're not taking this serious, are you?
A cockatoo and a robin.
I think we'll probably leave that one there, thank you. Here's the thing you can do. You can dye pigeons.
Why do you want to do that?
Because imagine having pink and blue and green pigeons. It'd be beautiful. You put dye on the eggs, and it gets absorbed by the... This is true. Gets absorbed by the baby, the chick.
That's how they make parrots, isn't it?
I love the fact that for the last hour and a half we've literally just been messing around. Matt's in Luton. Good morning, Matt.
Well, I've never heard such rubbish in my life.
I wish you a reggae Christmas, Matt.
Yeah.
And a reggae New Year.
By the way, tell Jonathan I put my tree up yesterday and all.
Oh, you're as sad as he is and as common as he is.
Yes.
Do you
But
wish...
What I phoned you up about
Yeah,
is...
OK, we'll get there in a minute. Do you wish Catherine a reggae Christmas?
I wish Catherine an English Christmas.
Well, reggae's English. Sid Owen did a reggae song. He's English. He's a Cockney.
Well, Sid Owen's a prat.
OK.
Sid Owen's a prat like you.
OK, Matt, well done. That's rude. I'm going to bow out of this conversation. You can talk to the ladies.
Yes.
What's up, Matt?
When I was in the meat game, we used to get
The meat
rabbits.
game. See what he did
We used to
there?
get rabbits in.
Yeah.
We used to get boxes of rabbits from China, and we always said they were cats. We always said there was cats, because you could never get that many rabbits.
Did they not have ears on?
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year.
Hear me now.
Tell me now. Yeah.
So
That's
why
it.
did
I've
you
had
think they
enough
were?
of you.
Why did you think they were cats? Did they
I'm
not
sorry,
have
I've
the
bloody
ears
well
on?
phoned up now.
Oh, why? Tell me about these
What a
rabbits.
waste of time.
Tell me about these rabbits.
This show is the worst show yet this year.
So the rabbits had...
And the rabbits were cats.
Did they have ears on, though?
What do you mean? Of course they had no ears on. They're completely skinless.
I can see the confusion there.
You've been working with him too long, you know.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. It's
Matt?
rubbing off. It's rubbing off.
Matt, I wish you a reggae Christmas.
And you too, darling. Never
a
mind
reggae
him.
New Year.
Never mind him. God bless you, and thank you for all the fun. All the years been good.
Give us a kiss, Matt.
We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas. We wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year. Hey, Father Christmas is on the line. A really grumpy, miserable, bitter old Father Christmas is on the line.
No, it's Mrs. Brown here.
Yeah, for goodness sakes, dearie me. Well, I can see us. You thought Christmas time La 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 was irritating. You wait until Reggae Christmas catches on.
Thank you, Yellow Man.
Reggae... No. We need to...
We've got a month. We've got a month yet to wind Kath up. Basically, my mission in life is to annoy Catherine. And I think I'm doing pretty well with it.
Mission accomplished.
Thank you very much indeed.
You stop now.
I've only just begun.
Are you still doing it?
Yeah, this is
really
it.
are.
This is part of the plan.
I'll put you straight through.
You've got 20 seconds. Quick.
Straight through.
Where are we going? Which line?
Someone's on line 1.
Morning, line 1. You've got 20 seconds. What would you like to say?
I want to say that this show is absolutely hilarious, and if you don't stop, I think I'm going to die because my cough is getting worse. You lot are so funny this morning.
Well, I tell you what, just because of that, and not because of contractual time obligations, we'll stop now.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 anti-clockwise, there's 2 lanes closed now between junction 18 for Chorleywood and 17 for Maple Cross because of a 3-vehicle accident. And on the M25 clockwise, there's a lane closed between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 25 for Enfield, causing some queues for recovery work to an accident earlier on. On the A1M southbound, it's looking very slow between junction 8 for Stevenage and 7 for the A602. And in Roxton, on the speed sensors around the Great Barford bypass, it's looking very heavy, and around the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks there. Having a look on the trains, and Abellio Greater Anglia have delays between Chestnut and Liverpool Street because of a signalling problem. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you so much. Reggae Christmas, Samantha.
Thank you very much. Reggae Christmas.
Thank you very much indeed. That's it. That's your lot from us. We're going to record some bits and pieces for the podcast, which will be released tomorrow. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Kelly. Excellent work, Justin, as always. JBX is up next. Until tomorrow, 6 o'clock from us. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JBS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone-In, do you think your local police are doing a good job? At 9:30 this morning, the government body